welcome to BumbleKast Live. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Kraus.
Hello. We are here, and wow, there's a lot of you here.
Gee, did something happen?
I can't imagine what happened. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to have fun today. We're going to have fun, Ian. Fun.
We are. First, gonna ask everybody, hold off on your questions. That's regular, that's super chat. Just hold your horses.
Yep.
We got a lot to talk about here at the start of the show. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. We have lots of updates, things we want to talk about before we get to our main meat of the show, main question. So please, calm.
We will tell you when you can floor it. I promise.
Yes.
But not yet.
Yes. We will say floor it. No, don't. No, not right now. Don't. Please.
I feel like Chris Pratt in front of the Velociraptors. No.
All
right. So let's try to get through this as quick as we can. It's going to be a long show, but so the news, big central point to it all is starting in 2025, all Sonic the Hedgehog series related questions are going to be vetted by Sega first before they get put on the show. And that's going to necessitate changes. Now, when I say Sonic series, I mean all Sonic, Modern Sonic, Classic Sonic, Archie Sonic, Boom Sonic, Coro Magazine, all of it. And when I mean Sonic series questions, I mean your shipping questions, your body swap questions, your crossover questions, your isekai adventures, all of it is going to go through Sega first. Depending on what their feedback is on these, we may be asking some of you to revise your question, and some of them, unfortunately, will just be unanswerable. We won't be able to handle them. So whatever those cases are, we will work with you, our wonderful supporters, and we will figure out something one way or the other. Either we'll get it revised, we'll get it figured out, or we'll get you refunded. Yeah. But we will take care of you to the best of our ability.
I just want to add real quick, Ian.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing some other concerns come up. Like people are asking even the fortune cards, and yes, anything about any merchandise, anything Sonic related whatsoever. It's all going to be seen and approved or rejected by Sega.
And kind of along that line, what is safe to ask? We don't know yet.
Yeah.
This is brand new territory for us. It's brand new territory for Sega. It's brand new territory for you, our lovely listeners at home. So we're all going to be learning and growing together in this endeavor. So please be patient with us as we all figure this out, and we'll see how it goes,
Yes.
It's adventurous that way. Exciting. Don't you want an exciting show, kids?
As I've kind of been saying, this is a little bit like a small taste of what you experience, Ian, when you pitch something to them.
Close, but no cigar.
It's not exactly the same, but, it's like, it's a little taste of that. Like, it could be that, one time a certain type of question is totally fine, and then next time a certain type of question is totally off the table.
We'll see as the years and months and whatever roll on.
We'll see how it goes, yes.
Because this is such a fundamental change in how we do things, a lot of stuff is going to change about the show in general.
Yes.
Number one, we're going to ask you to hold off on any December BumbleKast minis. We can't handle it right now.
Yeah, we are still planning on doing minis. It's just right now we are not accepting them.
Yeah, so please, for this holiday season, give us the gift of a small break because we're figuring out everything else out.
Yes.
Related to that, the currently unpublished BumbleKast mini archive is, for the most part, shelved for the foreseeable future. It's just way too much content to have put through the pipeline in addition to getting the show running regularly and learning how we're doing this new process. Maybe down the line, things will change and we can open it back up again. I don't know. But for now, just to keep things simple and safe, Archive is shelved. Now, if you bought a mini that was not Sonic related, the two of you that bought a Dragoon mini, that's perfectly fine. That'll be coming out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle is going to try to coordinate with some of you to see if he can put together compilations of minis that are non-Sonic related. So if you had 2 or 3 questions in your mini 1 month that were non-Sonic and 2 or 3 in another month that were non-Sonic, maybe put them together and put those out there. But those are exceptions to the rule, which are archived.
Yes.
And we're also going to add, sorry for that pause. I've got a big list of notes here because I'm not keeping all track of all this.
We've got a lot of
little pea brain.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff.
I'm so used to you fixing me in post. And speaking of minis, we're going to ask for those of you who have yours, but it has not been published, to just keep that to yourselves. Put it on your little digital shelf and cherish it as a memento. Because as you can see on the screen there, and if you're just listening, tab back over to YouTube and look at our smiling, cartoony faces. You see that big, scary, snarly disclaimer there. That reposting that would technically be a violation of that big, scary, snarly, aggressively worded disclaimer. That we worked with Sega on that. This was the result that they were happy with, so that's the one we're putting in here. And it has caused concern, which I understand.
Yes.
But let me be clear. This disclaimer is basically there to cover our asses when somebody maliciously clips the show and puts it out of context. Because there are folks who do that. They need a hobby, to be perfectly honest, but they try to misrepresent the show. That causes all sorts of fluster, usually on Twitter, and that makes various people unhappy. We have never been concerned with folks who are using it to, spread information in their own videos or sharing a laugh or those fantastic animatics that have come out of it.
Yes.
And regardless, even if we were like super pissy about it, we are not filing any DMCAs, no legal action. We are not going to be combing the internet and hunting you down. It's just the disclaimer they're saying we do not authorize it. So if you do it, naughty. It's like when, you were in school and they would wheel out the TV for like movie day on Friday because the teacher was tired of you. And there'd be that big disclaimer before the movie starts. This production is not authorized to be broadcast to any group and blah, blah. And they did it anyway. Like every time you've had folks over at your place to watch a movie or anytime you've done that in an after school program, that's technically violating federal law. And you can see how many of us are in jail for it. So it's there for I don't know if it's even soundly legal. It's just there to point out the bad behavior of a small group of folks that are ruining the fun for everybody else. We here at the BumbleKast, we're not going to bite the hand that feeds. We know that the community overall is largely incredibly supportive, and we are not going to pull the rug out from under you. So if you're worried about us coming after you, we aren't. Just please be respectful of us and the really awkward position we're in now. And don't make things more complicated than they need to be. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Along those lines, please do not white knight for us. Do not file strikes through YouTube's broken system or whatever if you see somebody reposting. So that is not helping.
No. Please do not do that.
If you see somebody, reposting our stuff maliciously, report and block them on whatever platform they're on for abusive behavior or whatever, and ignore them. Those folks strive on attention. Deny them that attention. And if one of your friends goes, "Oh, did you see so-and-so? They said Ian eats babies," or whatever. Here's the clip proving it. Say, "No, they're a troll," block and ignore them, and move on with your life. But do not take action on our behalf. Do not dogpile. Do not get your torches and pitchforks. Never wanted that. Still don't want that. Just block, ignore, move on. Pretty please. So how do you reference the show, you're asking? We would prefer that you just link to the YouTube video and include a timestamp. You can still do that in your videos. You can do that in your posts or what have you. Just please do that. But again, we are not going to go after people. It gets into that fair use, gray, nebulous area, and I have neither the time nor the patience to figure that out. Just please be respectful of us and what we're trying to do with you guys.
Yes.
Scroll down the list and so yeah, in summation, we are doing the best we can on our end to keep this show running in the way that you guys enjoy, but also in a way that Sega is comfortable with. And that's going to take a while because again, this is new for everybody involved. And some of this may change as time goes on because we are again learning, growing, evolving, learning Vine Whip, taking on that 8th gem, that kind of thing. And we've been doing this for 9 years entirely because of your support, whether you're a patron or a Ko-fi person or a YouTube supporter. We're only here because of your generosity. So we're doing everything we can to keep you guys happy as best we can. So again, please be patient with us as we figure this out, and we'll just keep doing what we're best at doing. And that's answering questions. So before we get to yours, though, there have been a lot of general questions online. So before we get to the Q&A, let's do some Q&A. Kyle?
Yes, indeed. We have had many questions over the last... Oh, God, has it been a week yet?
Feels like an eternity.
Since we've come out with this. So... yeah, I don't think it's been quite a week yet. Also, thank you folks for sending in your super chats now, but we are not accepting them, and anyone's taken now will be answered at the end of the list. So that's what we're doing. But thank you. Sorry, we're timing you out, but please listen. We're not taking questions yet, guys. Just relax. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with some of these. All right, Ian, answer me these questions many.
The internet asks,
is the BumbleKast officially sanctioned by Sega?
No, it never has been and never will be, to be perfectly honest.
No.
This is going to sound incredibly arrogant. I can't think of another way of wording this, but the BumbleKast is about me. Ew, that's gross to say out loud, but
I mean, it's your show, it's your brand. Like you got the little alligator guy. It's all there. It's all that. Yeah.
But it's not just about Sonic. It's about everything I've worked on. The cartoons, the comics, the games, the cookbooks, the cards, whatever. Everything I've dabbled in. And yeah, Sonic is a large part of that. But it is not officially sanctioned or endorsed by Sega at all. And after this point, it still isn't.
Nope.
It's just, I'm in a very unique situation here, which we'll touch on soon.
Yes. Yeah, we have never been officially endorsed by Sega, and we've never positioned this show as any way to get official information on Sonic or anything other than Ian's own stuff, and I guess my own, but so just to put that out there and make that clear is the BumbleKast is not an official method or a way to get official sanctioned questions to your answers. It's just for fun. Next question. Will Ian's answers to Sonic questions or otherwise be vetted by Sega?
I don't know. Because again, New process. I know they're vetting the questions. I don't know if they want to vet my answers to it yet. That'd make the most sense, but we'll figure that out as we go along. If they do, that does not make it officially sanctioned correspondence from Sega. That just means my answers haven't offended anybody over there, and we're clear to get away with it for now.
Yes. The disclaimer will still apply, so all opinions and information is wholly our own and provided by us. They are not endorsed by anyone. Nor should they be, really, honestly. Will Sega see the names of the person asking any given question?
Kyle, how are we handling that?
I am not going to be sending them any information other than the questions.
Okay.
Your names will be removed. There will be no identifying information given to them, and you will remain anonymous as far as they're concerned. They only want to see the questions. They don't want to see who's asking them. So if you're concerned about your name getting out there somehow, somewhere to somebody other than us, don't worry about it. We got you. Next question. Why are the live stream Q&As ending?
Because there is no feasible, reasonable way for Sega to vet all your questions in real time. Like, we barely have enough time to get through all of them in 2 hours, and that's just on the fly. I don't know the process that they're going to go through for vetting, but I guarantee you it's not instantaneous. So it's just not feasible. And let's be honest, if we did do a live Q&A that was Sonic free, it'd be like 30 minutes, maybe, with lots of awkward silences. So I don't know, maybe over time we'll figure out a system, or, give us your feedback. If you say, yeah, we enjoy listening to you guys make asses of yourself for 2 hours every end of the month, we'll do it without Sonic. We can do that too. That's perfectly fine. But we need your feedback on that as well. We are getting feedback from all corners, so let us know.
Will all questions in minis be vetted by Sega in full, or just Sonic-related questions?
Just the Sonic-related questions. But still, it's not like we're going to do your mini piecemeal. If you've got something that's intermixed, you're going to have to wait for us to get everything approved before we can move forward with it.
Yeah. But they're only going to see questions related to Sonic. Anything else, we are not going to be volunteering to send to them at all.
Because Sega don't care about Drogoon.
Nope. Sorry. Not yet. Not yet.
The 10 of you who do though.
How will we be notified if our question is rejected?
If you're a patron, we'll do it through the Patreon. If you're on Ko-fi, we'll do it through the DM system there. But we'll be in touch. We'll keep you up to date as best we can.
Yes. Will there be any way to appeal Sega's rejections?
No, this is not any kind of system where you can do that. We're not electing. This is not. No. If Sega is not comfortable with your question's contents for whatever reason, that's that.
Yep. Yeah, it won't be on the show. Can I attempt to resubmit a rejected question later on?
Please do not do that. If for whatever reason Sega is not comfortable with your question the one time, that's you learning from the experience. If you do it again, you're being rude. Please do not do that.
Will an approved question from Sega be an official endorsement of the question's content?
Absolutely not. No. Nuh-uh. In no way, no shape, no how.
No. Can we use BumbleKast questions as a method to pitch our story or character ideas to Sega directly?
Did somebody actually ask this, or are you just being careful?
Yes. Let's go with that.
No, please. This is not an open invitation to any kind of pitches or fan content.
Yeah.
I personally have asked, begged, pleaded repeatedly for you guys not to send me unsolicited material for legal reasons. And that's just me as a freelancer. That goes like quintuply so for a big international video game company. Do not try to sneak stuff in via us. We will not be happy about that.
Yeah. All right. How long will the vetting process take?
Don't know. Because, again, brand new process. It depends on who's seeing it, what their process is, and all sorts of stuff that are beyond me, to be perfectly honest. So we are taking steps on our end to try to get ahead of things so that there is no interruption once we roll into 2025, kicking and screaming. But we'll see how it goes.
Will we, the patrons, know why Sega rejects question?
I don't know that either. I don't know if we're going to get feedback and guidance on it. Like, this question is a problem because of XYZ, or please do not accept these types of questions, or it may just be, of stock no, in which case, no, that's how it goes.
All right. You want to move on into some questions and about Sega's involvement? First one is, so why is there a cutoff for Sonic-based questions now?
We've been on and off with Sega for a while now, where they've asked us to do a couple little things here and there. And it's like, okay, yep, stepped out of bounds. Sorry. We'll zero in on the messaging a little bit better.
Yeah, I want to say that it is not new, and there was no specific thing that happened recently necessarily to trigger this.
No. If there was, man, the timing is crazy. But that was all back before I was the very public writer for two of the best-selling and best-reviewed games in recent history, and tied to this big crossover with DC and Warner Brothers. I'm very, very much in the spotlight now, way more than I was a few years ago, and with that brings greater scrutiny, shall we say, from multiple parties all across the internet. And some folks just cannot seem to understand, or refuse to understand, that I am not a spokesman for the brand. I am not an official representative of the brand. And this show is not a vehicle for that information. We never have claimed it to be. We probably could have been a little clearer about that messaging a little while ago, but we've been very clear about it as of late. I am not official Sega people. So hopefully these changes will make that more clear and make everybody involved a little more comfortable with the situation that is the BumbleKast.
Also, just to clarify as well for myself, I am not and have never been an employee or representative of Sega as a brand. I am here just on my own. There seems to be some thoughts of recently that like I've gotten in trouble for things said on this show or anything like that. No, I have never actually had any direct or indirect contact with anyone from Sega, and they have not said anything to Ian about me as far as I am aware. So
no,
I'm just
snookered you into this, huh?
I'm just
hey, Kyle, you want me to help me with a podcast? It'll be fun. Little did you know.
I'm just kind of here. I'm just here. I'm just this guy, I'm
cleaning up my messes.
Yeah, I am just here. Also, Ian, you are fritzing out, and I hate that we're having to do that live.
Be right back.
Please be patient while Ian fiddles on his side with technical things, and we This is something we have to deal with in
And
the
I'm
recordings usually. Hello, Ian. Thank you. Welcome back. Ian's mic is attacking us. I'd appreciate if his mic did not do that. Please and thank you. So, yes. All right, let's move on to the next question. What content would Sega approve? Will there be a list of guidelines provided?
Again, we're still figuring all that out because it is brand new for everybody involved. I will say, when you're asking your question going forward, remember, it's not just asking fun Uncle Ian and Kyle for the wackies. Mama and Papa Sega are going to see this too. So if you're comfortable with showing to them, okay, just be mindful.
Yep. Will all Sonic content be subject to approval from Sega, including questions about old defunct adaptations and other media?
To be thorough here at the start, it's everything. Freedom Fighters, Underground, Tiara, everything.
Adventures of everything, yes.
Yeah. Maybe that'll loosen up with time. Maybe not. I don't know. But we'll figure it out as we go.
Yes. If Sega vets the questions and approves Ian's answers, does that mean Ian's answer is also Sega's position on the question?
No. Again, not an official show, not an official spokesperson. If Sega allows the question through and the answer through, that just means they don't find anything objectionable about it. They don't necessarily have a problem with that opinion, but that is not their company's opinion or stance or anything necessarily.
Will you be allowed to address lighter fare like shipping, crossovers, or goofy scenarios like boom episodes, storybook pitches, and Starline isekais? Or will you be limited to only answering basic character and lore questions?
Gosh, wouldn't it be a shame if we couldn't do shipping questions anymore? Please, Sega, don't stop us from answering shipping questions. Seriously, I don't know because we're just starting out.
Yeah. And also the other way around. We're not sure if we'll only be able to answer Sega current Sonic brand related questions and can't do any of the goofy stuff. Or if the goofy stuff is the only stuff that's going to be allowed and the serious questions will be unfortunately rejected. We don't know yet. It could go either way. We will find out.
The only shipping questions. It could be exclusively shipping questions.
It's a very real possibility, Ian. We don't know yet. We will be finding out very soon.
Well, along that line, just to be safe, I am going to ask for no more purchases of character voice, quote unquote, guest episodes. This was not listed as any other concerns, but I still want to make sure that we have everything covered here at the start, and then we can start testing boundaries after that. So if you're going to purchase a guest episode, let it be for you. And frankly, I would rather talk to you than hear myself talk in a bad accent for 30 minutes.
I guess we're going to have to put Starline away. Don't come out of that box, Starline.
Stay under that rock.
No. Oh, all right. Well, we have a few more questions. So let's go ahead and get into those. Why are the live stream Q&As ending?
Like I said earlier, it's just not feasible for Sega to oversee them live. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. We would not have... First of all, we'd have to coordinate with someone from Sega to be here with us while we're doing the show. And we usually do it on a Saturday, which is the weekend. Usually they're not really doing stuff on the weekends. So, yeah.
And again, This show exists because of you guys. If you want the live shows to continue and are okay without Sonic content in it,
yes,
we'll do the live shows. That's fine by us. Just let us know.
yes. Why will we no longer be accepting paid priority questions via YouTube?
Because YouTube sucks. The way its platform is designed, we would not be able to coordinate with you easily in any way if we need a revision or if it's been rejected or whatever. And if we can't answer the question, we have no way of refunding you, which is entirely unfair. I will not stand that. Again, I don't mean to harp on this, but we are here because of your support. I am thankful every day for the amount of generosity that you guys have shown us for 9 freaking years. So I am not even going to remotely risk the chance that you throw $5 our way and then we just hold on to it and you don't get your fair compensation for it. Oh, it's just $5. It means a lot to me, damn it. So if you still want to support us via YouTube, we'll have up to $4 available.
Yeah,
that way,
for
you're not buying a
memberships.
question. You're still throwing a few dollars our way, and we do appreciate it.
Yes.
If you still want to do a priority question, head over to Patreon or Ko-fi. Ko-fi's there as the Patreon alternative, and we do appreciate it.
Yes.
And if just that's not working for you and you're bowing out, also completely understand and appreciate your patronage up to this point. You take care of yourself and hope you keep listening to the BumbleKast.
All right, next question. Will these changes impact pricing?
Absolutely not. This is our mess to deal with. We're not passing it on to you.
We're very lucky and fortunate that so many of you guys have supported us for as long as you have. We are not going to be taking advantage of this and or anything like that. So we're not changing any of our priority pricing or anything like that, our membership tiers or anything, other than the ones on YouTube, of course, which we are adjusting down and or removing. So, and the last question: why are all the minis being shelved?
Just it's too much content.
Oh, it's not the last question. I'm sorry.
It's too much content right here, right now. We can't have all of that vetted along with getting the show up and running under the new format. If you have a mini that is not Sonic related, that will still be published. If you have content within your minis that are not Sonic related, Kyle will be trying to coordinate with you to maybe do a kind of compilation down the road. But it's just not feasible for us to tackle it right now. And again, please be respectful of the position that we are in. And if you have your unpublished mini in P3, hold on to it just for yourself. Please don't spread that around and sneak it out behind our backs.
Yeah. I also want to add that we are going to be pushing out certain minis before the cutoff starting in 2025. So throughout December, there will be some Sonic-related minis released. We are focusing on prioritizing ones with standard sponsored questions because so many people have been very generous with asking us to, hey, here's a donation for a mini. Go ahead and just pull 10 random standard questions and create a mini out of those. And we want to put those out there before the cutoff. We want those to be out there as a thank you to everyone who's asked questions and to the person who very generously donated as a way to get some standard questions fast-tracked. All right, move on to this one here. Can I get my own copy of it? I think we already addressed that.
Well, again, doesn't hurt to be extra clear with this stuff. If we've already recorded your BumbleKast mini, you should have the MP3. If you don't, message Kyle. We'll get that fixed. If we haven't recorded your BumbleKast mini yet, we will do it before 2025. You will have your MP3. It just may not be published on the YouTube site, but you will get what you paid for.
Yes. All right. And then next question. Can I upload it myself?
Again, we would really, really appreciate it if you didn't do that. It just makes things really awkward for us.
And all right, I think this is actually the last question. Would someone be allowed to use voice clips and mess with them in an audio editor or use it in AI?
Allowed to? I mean, beyond like the disclaimer? I don't think so. Like, how does the AI law work like that? Can you just take random people's voices and do stuff with it? Because that's creepy.
We don't have laws for that yet, Ian. It's still new. So
that's terrifying.
Yes.
I mean, again, officially via the disclaimer, no, we do not endorse and what is the wording? Strictly prohibits that kind of thing.
Yes.
But we are not coming after you. We're not gonna, file a strike against somebody who does some kind of goofy animatic off of one of our incredibly goofy moments. That's just silly. So
I think that would be basically community suicide. That would immediately erase all of our goodwill that we've built. No.
It evaporates fast.
Yes, it does. Yes, no.
I've said it before, I've said it again, you cannot police the internet, and I certainly cannot police the internet. So all I can do is ask, and in this particular case, beg that you just be respectful of us, what we're trying to do with the show and the content we're putting out there, and understand the situation that we have gotten ourselves into.
Yes.
Well, let's be honest, I've gotten myself into. I just dragged Kyle into this.
Hey, you know what? I'm still here. I could have left.
You fool.
I could have left, but I'm still here.
See, this is a testament of just how good of a bro this dude is. Because when the discussions began, Kyle could have said, you know what? No, I'm just going to go back to kngi.org that's been running for 20 years and do my radio show and wash my hands of your mess. And I would have been sunk. But no,
we're in this together
tirelessly to help this going. And you know who else has helped out? The entire volunteer BumbleKast crew.
Absolutely.
These guys have been all over the place helping us gather information and compile questions and fact check. And is this wording okay? And all this. We have been supported by an amazing group of people. And I'm not getting choked up. Why? No, what are you talking about?
And they're all
it's from the cats.
And they're all volunteers. I want to say they're not compensated or anything like that. They're just doing this out of the kindness of their hearts, and it's very
humbling.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. No, I'm good. I'm going to deep breaths. It was just cat dander, of course. So that sums up what we've got coming up for the new year. We'll probably clip this out as its own separate video because it's been 40 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go.
Yeah.
Welcome to BumbleKast Live. I am your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and join me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle JCRB Krause. Thank you to Jen and Professor Rye for manning all the questions that you are about to inundate us with. Thank you to Kazi for managing all the social media channels. Thank you to the BumbleKast volunteer crew for helping us do everything that we do. I don't know why you guys are so generous, but you are awesome. And now, and the Superchats. We are still doing Superchats for this and for the final live
I'm
in
about
December.
Ready to.
No, tell them don't say it yet because they are flooding already. I'm ignoring all this.
Okay, so what did you say, Ian? Sorry, apparently people are flooding already. We didn't say floor it, guys. We didn't say floor it.
No, I was just saying we're getting the show started, and we are still doing Super Chats. Same as always, we'll answer as many standards as we can. We'll get through as many Super Chats as we can tonight, and those that we can't get through tonight, we will roll over and get done by the end of December before January rolls around. So now, floor it.
Ian says floor it. All right. With all that out of the way, Jesus, this chat. Oh, there's 360 people listening, Ian.
Wow.
We haven't even started yet.
That's like double our usual listener count at least.
What's that, Ian? Sorry, I've got multiple people trying to say things to me at the same time, and I don't know what they're saying.
Just marveling at the number of folks who are here. Welcome.
Yes. Also, I've been asked by Kazi to give a shout out to Crystal, who is listening, and I hope they are doing well. So we are waiting for chats to come in. All right, here we go. We ready, Ian? You ready?
Wait.
Oh, what?
I actually forgot something. Sorry, Kazi, you asked me to do this twice, and I forgot. Dagummit. We are putting a hold on the weekly giveaway questions.
Yes.
As we figure things out. If you've already been a winner, we have your questions logged. We will get to those. But until everything else gets figured out in January, we're holding off on the giveaways. Okay, there. Sorry,
Okay.
Kazi. Here we go.
Okay.
Kyle, let's go.
Yes, let's go. All right, we're going to go ahead and start off with Super Chats. This one is from The Deleter. What is the stance on non-character voice guest episodes moving forwards? We literally just answered that.
Non-character voice, like Kermit the Frog or I don't know, Dr. Claw
or no, non-character voice guest episodes. Like if people, I guess I think if they mean like if people want to actually come on and like regular guest episodes. We
that's fine, but just to be safe, at least until we know the full parameters of what we're working under, we're gonna not talk about the little blue hedgehog.
Yes.
So talk about anything else, just not that.
And also it might be a bit of a delay in scheduling. It takes us a little while to schedule these things. So just in general, but I mean, especially now. So free questions are closed, by the way. We are no longer accepting these standard chat questions. We have way many more of those. Thank you very much to the 350 of you who are still listening. Thank you very much. Super chats we are still accepting, and holy crap, we are getting a lot of them quickly. So let's keep on rolling. KB has a question. Silver travels back in time to the very first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu. How's this go?
I mean, he's an incredibly powerful psychic. He just lifts them all up.
All the turkeys off the menu.
All the turkeys.
He lifts them. He literally lifts them off the menu. Got it.
Exactly.
Okay, I understand.
It takes on a whole new super form, Waddle Silver.
I mean, he already kind of looks like a turkey anyway. Have you seen that thing on his head?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's related. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the deal. Question from Twilord. Which normies do you think intersect with the most queer-adjacent themes or tropes from a literary standpoint, regardless of if they are actually queer?
I don't know if I'm really the best to weigh in on that. I mean, full transparency, I'm boring old cisgender white male straight, blah. And none of them ever really registered to me as coded as anything beyond that, but that's very much my own worldview. So I'm not going to sit here and discredit anybody else's.
All right, here's one from Switchel. Which origin characters, no Tav, in Baldur's Gate 3 do you imagine the Sonic cast would play as, and how would they play them?
I have not played Baldur's Gate 3, and, I actually really want to.
Yeah, me too, but I have not.
But I just have not had the time, and I don't know. I've actually been avoiding content for it for a while because I don't want to be terribly spoiled. because I actually want to play and enjoy that one. So I do not know any of the characters really.
I remember playing Baldur's Gate 1 like 20-something years ago.
Good Lord.
Do not remember anything about it. And I was very confused because it's based on advanced D&D, like D&D 1.5 or whatever. It's very dense. There's a lot of stuff going on there. So it's a lot. It's a lot on that. So yeah, I don't remember what was going on, but that's just the only experience I have with Baldur's Gate, sadly. Here's one from Joe M. When Gerald was on Angel Island, how close was he to being sniped by Knuckles' grandparents?
We don't know. And because all we have is Gerald's journal to go by, we will never know.
All right, here's one from the Might of Gebra. What you say or said on the BumbleKast can be insightful and acceptable, but if Sega, Sonic Team's interviews, websites, materials, social medias, etc. say otherwise, that's the ultimate say-so and source, right?
Oh, yeah. Again, I am not an official spokesman. I'm speaking from a position of a Gigasonic nerd. If the official line is something completely different, go with the official line, because it's official.
Yes. Ian's just some guy, you know? All right, Diamond Death asks, for the new rules, did Ian get in trouble? What if he said no? Is this good to get Sega to see what fans want? And does this mean old questions can be asked for new answers? What about guest episodes? Sorry for all the questions. This is all new.
It is. There's a lot of questions, and some of that we covered in the first 40 minutes. No, don't resubmit old questions because you're not necessarily going to get a new or better answer.
Mm-hmm.
And those answers will not be official vetted Sonic Team Sega official answers. That's just Sega says, okay, you can say this. It's not their statement. It's just me saying it, not getting in trouble. As for me getting in trouble, no. If I were in trouble, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
We wouldn't be here right now.
If I were in trouble, there would be no more Sonic content on the BumbleKast at all, overnight, immediately. And I would not be this upbeat on the microphone. No, I'm fine.
Yes. Sega has been very, very understanding and patient. From what I understand, at least. I've not had any direct contact with anyone with them. It's all been through Ian, I've only heard. So, but from what I understand and what I've been told, they have been very patient and are doing a lot more for us than you might think.
Nobody else in the world would work with us like they have.
No,
this is the absolute best scenario, believe me.
Okay, next question. Tristan asks, Splatoon's 10th anniversary is next year. If you could write a miniseries for an individual idol, who would you pick?
Ooh, an individual idol as in we break up one of the groups, or
Yeah,
a new idol?
I think that's what they mean. Like if an individual idol, yeah. So one of the existing ones, but just them alone.
Marina in the underground. Like before she met Pearl and moved to topside. That would be fascinating.
Yeah.
Also, has it been 10 years? Good night.
Yeah, remember the Wii U? Boy, that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
You're not being very woomy, Kyle.
I would say Marie would also be interesting, but we've already kind of had that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, not a comic miniseries about them, obviously, but just like we've seen a story with just from their side alone. So, but I think we could do something like that with her as well. I mean, you could really do one about any of them. They're very good characters that I think could kind of carry their own story. So that's just a testament to Splatoon's world building and character design and stuff. So, all right, here's one from Trange. If the Doom morph goop we see from Mephiles in his boss is the result of him trying to claw... Is the Doom goop we see form from Mephiles in his boss the result of him trying to claw his way out of non-existence? Can we see it leak to white space and other areas in it, like in Chaos Island?
I don't know. I have no idea what that goo is, to be perfectly honest.
It's very goopy. You didn't write the goo?
I did not write the goo.
They just put that goo in there, huh? Well, I guess that makes sense. It doesn't, but, you know. All right, we're going to do some standard questions for a little bit. So let's switch over. This one is from Sotan. How would Shadow and Sonic react to being just as slow as regular humans?
I feel like we've done this one before.
Well, I mean, we know they'd probably hate it.
I imagine, just for funsies here, I imagine Sonic would be okay with it. Totally okay with it. Why would he be disturbed about it? No, he's fine. He's fine. Is he standing still? No, he's walking forward. Just walking. All right. He's going to go for a jog just for funsies. Yeah, he's going to jog. That's all he can do. Just the jog. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Like he says, one of my favorite lines that has really stuck with me for some reason from Sat AM. He's like, oh, this walking stuff really draws major wind. I don't know why that stuck with me, but like I think about it every time I'm like walking anywhere. It's like, oh, wow, this really sucks.
And then I just imagine Shadow just blasts by him, turns around, air shoes, and just keeps up the speed.
Yeah. Yeah, the speed is his shoes. It's his shoes.
Now, Sonic, starts doing a Wile E. Coyote routine to take away the shoes.
Oh boy.
I'll teach him, but
this is the ultimate definition of a skill issue, Sonic.
And to be clear, that's not confirming that the air shoes are the source of his speed. I'm making a joke here, guys.
Yes. Madam Mobius has a question. So Maria and Gerald were standing near Sunset Heights. What do their early 1950s brains think about the synth and heavy guitar-dominated music? Can they handle it? Can Maria rock out? I think she's ready.
Yeah, maybe Gerald's really into it too. Like maybe he was a roadie back in his youth.
For who? It's like it was the 50s. No, it was like the 30s for his youth, wouldn't it?
Yeah, those bands rocked, dude. He's a genius.
Guess it'd be for like, I don't know. What bands were around in the 30s? What groups? I can't even remember right now.
Well, this is assuming that it's congruent with our own world's rock music. I mean, maybe they've had an earlier genesis of music.
Someone is okay. Chat is saying that Gerald was a roadie for a big swing band. Okay,
there you
go. That works. All right, we'll go with that. All right, here's one from Adventure 08. It's nearly festive season, so in the spirit of Christmas, our heroes and villains of the IDW Phantom Riders arc are giving presents. Who gives what to who?
Tangle gives coupons for free hugs. And then actual gifts.
To everyone? Things. To everyone?
Oh, yes. Everyone.
Okay.
Everyone. But
even Surgeon Kitten.
Well, she's not going to make them feel left out. What are you talking about? And hey, Kid can make like 500 tails. I bet she bets he gives great hugs.
Maybe he does.
And Surge just smiles and says, yeah, the last one you'll ever get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whisper gives unsettlingly thoughtful gifts. Like, how did she know that's what you want? Are you spying on me, Super Sniper Wolf Lady?
Yes.
Yeah. And Lanlin gets you like really practical gifts. The kind you're like, oh, Thanks. It's a solar lamp. Lovely. And then the power goes out and like, oh man, this is great. Thank you, landlord.
It's very useful. Wow.
As for villains, Starline gets you autographed pictures of Eggman.
Starline wasn't in the IDW Phantom Riders arc, but I'll allow it.
Oh, he was not. Oh, Phantom Riders arc. Excuse me. All right. Surge doesn't get anybody anything, and when they ask, she's like, "Oh, so what'd you get me for my holiday?" I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know. What is your holiday? Shows how much you care." She doesn't celebrate anything. She doesn't follow anything. She's just making it awkward for you.
Celebrate Surgemas.
I think we had this in a recent cast that Kit finds the Sonic targeting stuffy from the hot shelter and gives that to Surge. It's something that Eggman built and it's Sonic, so she can beat it up for twice the joy.
Yes.
And Duo only gets one present for Whisper, and it's ticking?
What? Oh, no! 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 No!
Oh, it's just a watch. It's an
Uh,
oddly heavy watch.
and it's counting down. What's up with that?
Why does it go 1, 2, 3, C4?
Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. Move on to the next one here from YoshiBomb266. Hypothetical for you. The year is 2027. DC X Sonic was a huge success. So DC brings you back for another project. Teen Titans versus TMNT. How would you go about writing this crossover miniseries?
Oh, that would be fun. I'd need to do research on the Rogues Gallery for the Titans to see who would be a good pair up for Shredder. But gosh, having the Titan, and it would also depend on which Titans in particular they'd want me to use. Which Robin or a Robin,
I think
or whatever.
Slade Wilson is one of the names floating around. Slade and Shredder.
Use Slade.
I know, but
he's visually,
and he's like the Titans' big bad. He's their main guy, Deathstroke.
Maybe Krang opens a portal to get Trigon out. Mix it up a little.
Okay.
Trigon, where's my body?
Okay.
But really, it should just focus on the Turtles and the Titans being just like fun.
Yeah.
Like they are just having a grand time hanging out. And it's like, oh, wait, no, we have to defeat evil. Dang it.
Dang.
Like the Turtles are really jealous of Titan's Tower. It's even shaped like a T. That could stand for turtle power. And the Titans are really jealous of the sewer layout because, man, look at what you've done with this place. It's so cool.
Oh, man.
Very upbeat and positive and colorful and playful.
That would be so much fun. Absolutely. All right. We're going to switch back to Super Chats. I'm going to say that we have received more Super Chats than ever.
Oh.
Already? Than we ever have for any stream previously, and they're still rolling in.
Yeah, you're at 80. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It's at like 80 plus more over on the other side. It's like 85, 90 almost. So thank you guys so much. We will get through as many as we possibly can. So please be patient. And let's go ahead and start answering them again right now. Starting with this one from Saturn. How do you as a writer balance character strength with proper stakes, given that characters in the past have performed high feats almost casually?
This is tricky. And it kind of depends on what the moment is. If the incredible feats in previous media are kind of rule of cool stuff or exceptional, and if it would make sense for them to not be able to perform those feats under these very particular circumstances. There will always be a scenario where someone goes, in this piece of media, they were able to do this. And it's like, well, yeah, but then there wouldn't be a story otherwise. So I try to take everything into account, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to what is in service to the story and trying to make sure that the story doesn't lead us into that particular issue.
Mm-hmm. Here's a question from Bug. Spoiler warning for the Knuckles one-shot. I enjoyed the recent comic and got to know what was the process of pitching / creating the Sungazer tribe.
So, let's see, how much can I say? That was based on some internal stuff that I knew about and some stuff that was an educated guess. And we got notes back on that on how to correct and align with other internal stuff that I did not have access to. So that was neat. But that is to say, that was not like a wholesale original idea on my part. That is like actual official material that we finally got to investigate.
Very cool. And here's a question from a very generous super chat from Lord Van Oscro. Wow, thank you. Tails and Sticks have been dating for a while. Everyone, including Eggman and the Zeddy, know except Sonic and Amy. How do the two hedgehogs deal with being the last to know? Especially since Sticks went to Omega and Gemerald for gift advice. Wait, Gemerald was in Boom? And Omega? Whatever, it's fine.
I think we're assuming one, we've got an older Tails.
I would hope so.
Boy's too young to be dating. Go to your room.
I mean, tell that to Zoe.
And we're assuming that it's like modern Sonic Sticks.
Oh, okay.
That's still a weird pairing, but yeah, that's not the question.
Yeah.
I think Sonic is going to be like, oh, hey, cool. And Amy would be something along the lines of, how did you not know? Oh, of course you don't know. You're completely aloof when it comes to romance. To which Sonic would reply with something like, somehow I feel wounded, but I'm not sure why.
Yes.
And Amy, again, would be hypothetically a little upset that, Styx is one of her besties. You never told her? And Styx is like, I thought you knew. All the double dates we went on, all the times we were hanging out, all the clear signs. Are you admitting to being a bad friend, Amy? To which Amy gets real quiet real fast.
Yep.
It still feels more like a Boom scenario, though.
It does. I mean, well, Styx is involved. That's a big part of it.
I know.
It's true. All right, here's one from DDR Master M. Home Alone scenario. How does Marine handle the wet bandits? You may decide where and how it happens.
Credit where it's due. Marine did manage to build her own jet ski.
Yes.
And I think her first ship or first watercraft was of her own construction, and she's young. So she's not on Tails' level, but she's still way better than I was at her age. And she's also talking raccoon, so in a fantasy setting.
Rest in peace, wet bandits.
For this hypothetical idea, we'll say that it's Blaze's palace. And the staff was all given the day off due to managerial lack of oversight. Because Blaze is on Sonic's world. And we have a whole crew of piratey wet bandits. Because they're on the open ocean. Makes sense. And yeah, we'll just say Marine has a stockpile of all the different colored materials. And she's going to single-handedly turn that palace into a death trap. That'll be delightful.
All right, let's switch back over to some standards for a little bit, just so we can get this reordered. All right. Happy Times has a question. How was the end affected by, or how did it react to Chaos Island getting sucked into white space and Shadow going through its level?
I don't know. I mean, it would stand to reason that white space encapsulated everything, not just, individual places. Because that big white flash looked like it was going all over the Earth and even out into space to get the Ark. And Chaos Island just happened to bubble to the surface? Question mark. I don't. Like, would cyberspace still remain active? And that's you got me there. I don't know how that works. That's interesting.
All right, here's one from Blur. I was wondering, outside of Twitter takeover fluff, did Sonic ever get to actually know about Maria and the whole Ark incident?
I'm trying to remember if he's actually mentioned anything in official media about it. Well, I mean, he was there when everybody saw Gerald's confession / execution on the Ark, right? Remember the last story?
I think so.
So yeah, he should have a decent idea of what's going on or what went down.
Yeah,
I would think. I'll have to go back and check that scene again. I'm pretty sure he was there.
Interesting. All right, Honey and Lemon has a question. Do you think there's any basis behind the headcanon of Tails reminding Shadow of Maria a bit? I've always liked it, but wondered if it's acknowledged by people who work on the franchise.
That's the first I've heard of it. But, if it's your headcanon and you're not hurting anybody, I mean, headcanon away.
Edubot has a question. Hypothetically, if you were hired by Sega to write a suitable plot for a Hooligans TV series, what are some ideas you'd have? Given an actual answer and not, quote, I wouldn't, or something like that.
Oh, Hooligans?
Yes.
I would have fun with that.
They could have a show. Let them have a show as a treat. They deserve it.
Are you kidding? I mean, for pity's sake, I put the boys together.
Yeah.
The tricky thing is that, from my experience, and this goes beyond Sega, but any corporation, they are a little iffy on doing programming that highlights villainy, like glorifying bad behavior, which makes sense, especially in children's media like Sonic. Yes, I know it's also all ages, but let's be honest, we're all adults here. Well, some of us. It's kids media that we can all enjoy. And I'm going to answer this question instead of backpedaling repeatedly. So we would need to find a way in this hypothetical Hooligans TV series to have them still be the fun ne'er-do-wells that they are, but not glorifying any of their villainous activity. So maybe there's a bigger bad that they're in competition with. Maybe whatever antics they get into ultimately bring about good things. That's a punchline that would get tired after about 3 episodes. You'd have to be careful with that. Them trying to do nefarious things and then getting their comeuppance from it, maybe. But I'm thinking primarily action comedy. Just something lighthearted and goofy, but with like those 1 or 2 action sequences where you're like, whoa, wait, what? Why did they go so hard on this?
Oh, wait, the show has a budget? Wow. All right, we're going back to priority questions, super chats. C-Man has a question. KFC is taking legal action against Sonic for defamation regarding the whole Kentucky Fried fetish situation. Go nuts with this scenario.
I just wanted to end in a fist fight between Colonel Sanders and Eggman. Step up, Colonel. You're about to get a finger licking. Pop, pop. Sonic raises his hand. Is anyone else uncomfortable with that? I know what he was going for, but I still don't think. No? Okay, fine. Prepare for the secret 11 herbs and spices key to kicking your ass. Pop, pop. Amy raises her hand. Wasn't this a legal battle initially? Judge Knuckles. I decided trial by combat.
Yeah. You want to watch out when the Colonel's mouth starts to water and his hanks start a hankering. That's for sure, though. That's when he's charging up his power. Look out for that. Scurvy Pirate Hog has a question. Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door, but Peach's letter to Mario goes to the wrong address. It reaches Tangle instead, and the way Peach writes Mario's name looks weird, so it looks like Tangle. What happens?
Well, then you get 1,000-Year Door, but with Tangle. And a lot more dialogue from the protagonist.
So you would be talking a lot more, yes.
Well, you could have so much fun with those contextual inputs.
Yeah.
Attack.
Yes.
Like holding back the stick to, stretch out the tail and then let her fly.
Yes.
Properly time the combo for like the little MMA pop, pop, pop.
Yeah.
Like do a big combo with, joining hands with your partner character if they have hands and grabbing onto the tail and just rolling through the whole line of enemies. Oh, that'd be fun. Okay, fandom, new assignment. Make me an entire Paper Mario styled RPG, but with Tangle.
That's a hell of a thing to ask for, Ian.
Yeah, and it is the holidays, so February. Go.
You got a little bit of time. Just in case anybody doesn't realize this is a joke.
Yeah, and if somebody does manage to throw that together in that time frame, I want to feel super guilty. No, don't do that. Please.
Please no. Please no. Please no. But also yes. The Shadow Emperor has a question. Hi, Ian. On a BumbleKast late last year, you said you were eager to hear the fandom's feedback about something in particular coming up in the Sonic pipeline. Are you now able to share what that was?
I have forgotten.
It's probably a few things you were probably eager to hear feedback about.
It was probably Sonic and Shadow Generations. It was probably Dark Beginnings. It probably could have been the Knuckles one shot. God, what else came out this year?
The Amy fortune cards.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a good year.
It's been a lot of Sonic stuff coming out, and it's been quite successful. So good job, Ian. I give you the credit.
Yeah, sure.
Nobody else, just you.
Please don't do that. People actually believe that.
People should not be listening to me. Like, listen to me when I'm saying the questions. Don't listen to anything else. My opinions are garbage. I have bad opinions about Shadow the Hedgehog, so don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I wouldn't listen to me. Ian doesn't listen to me.
Sorry, what?
Exactly. Cameron D has a question. How would the IDW cast fare in a fight against one or more of the T-800, T-1000, or TX Terminators? Feel free to get as creative as you like. Thanks. That's a Metal Virus Saga scenario here again. At least for T-1000.
Here I am getting into power scaling mentality. How does a T-800 stack up to your standard Badnik?
To an egg pawn? to a
I mean,
Motobug?
Because sure, they look like they're easy prey, but that's because you're usually playing as like Sonic and he's amazing. I mean, Eggman's got to be a threat in general if like he conquered the world in forces. So that would mean his tech is pretty darn formidable. So by that metric, one could come to the conclusion that your standard base level egg tech is comparable to a T-800 or most of what Skynet would have deployed. That's a terrifying thought.
Alright, Ian, pick it up. We got a lot of questions.
Yeah, okay. So if the Sonic crew can beat up Eggman's robots, then they should be able to handle Skynet stuff, except T-1000 would be very super scary.
Yes. All right, that works.
Ironically, gets thrown into the molten metal by Mimic, but Mimic goes down with him. And instead of giving a thumbs up, he's like, "No, no, save me!" And Whisper's just like, "No,
no." Bye.
Sorry, we've been getting some interesting questions, and I keep forgetting we're live, and we're not here for you to edit me down to like a sentence.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah. We got a lot. Cass IT has a question. If I wanted to move into Rough and Tumble's place as a roommate, what rules am I expected to follow? No snitching on their crimes, forced to join on their rhymes. Odds are paying rent isn't one of them.
Number one, bold of you to assume that they can hold down a singular place for any length of time.
I just assumed they were, much like Sonic, homeless.
Although I imagine they would just kick down somebody's door and decide that's their place now.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's something Sonic
would
would not do, but something they would. So, yeah.
So you come to stay at quote unquote their place. And they're like, okay, you got to clean up after them, and you can't eat anything out of the fridge, and you have to get their takeout for them, and that's when the police show up to arrest you. But
Yes.
then you get out of it because you're saying, help, they kidnapped me.
There you go.
And there you go.
Yes. All right, Astral Hitchhiker has a question, asking for their little sister. If it were up to you, what new Sonic character would you like to see appear in Sonic 4 of the Paramount movies?
See, here's the thing. I don't know who all's in Sonic 3. Like, we know we're getting Shadow and Maria and Gerald. They've all been in the trailer, but we don't know if there's any surprises.
Yes.
Like, there's a whole Chow-themed restaurant. Does that mean there are other Chow in the world? What does this mean? So I don't want to say, oh, I hope Amy shows up in Sonic 4, and you're like, you fool! She was actually there all along.
Well,
although
I mean,
that is better that I do say Amy, and then she does show up, and then you're like, oh, well, Ian didn't know what he was talking about again, so clearly he didn't have any insider info.
Well, we don't.
Also, Metal Sonic, because I want to see how they render him in the movie verse.
God.
Just design wise, I want to see what they do with that.
That's gonna be wild. That would be wild. All right, Frost the Hobbidon has a question. Continuing Tom and Jerry in the Sonic world, Tom and Jerry both agree on things. They need food, and what kind of job would they take? Who would hire them, and how long would it take for them to get fired?
I would imagine they would need to take some kind of job that involves multiple moving parts for lots of Three Stooges-esque visceral humor.
Yes.
So
a job in the
with
Sonic universe, yes.
A bakery with a conveyor belt. A machine shop with a conveyor belt.
A burger shop with a statue outside and a conveyor belt.
Yeah. Maybe they're helping out at a gym. There's lots of conveyor belts like all those treadmills.
A casino where you become the ball yourself and jump into a pinball machine.
Kyle, that's the answer. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yep, like a casino arcade sort of thing, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I can already imagine, like, Powerhouse playing. Just the ridiculousness.
And they get fired when they end up smashing down the giant golden Sonic statue at the center of it all.
Oh, man. Oh, well. Professor Scruffy Matt has a question. Tails decides to start doing gaming streams aside of Tails Tube. What games would he pick to stream for his viewers?
Flappy Big.
Flappy Big. You know what? Someone make that. That would be a
real thing.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was an April Fool's Day thing.
I didn't realize that. I totally missed that. Oh man.
Yes.
Okay. What about Big's Big Fishing Adventure 3?
Yeah, sure.
They're all big related.
Big Game Hunter, and it's just Big walking through various gaming stores. I like this one.
Kabiga's Dangerous Hunts.
Everything slows down. You get the heartbeat sound effect. His vision zeroes in on a single game box. I like this one.
Makes sense. Here's one from BumbleKast Asker. In the Knuckles 30th anniversary comic, Trip never brings up Fang. Why is that when he had such an effect on her?
We touched on it briefly when she's talking about where the rest of the tribe was, but I mean, he was really nasty to her. Why would she want to bring him up? Really?
Yeah, no. I wouldn't want to talk about that guy. Screw that guy. Just kidding. I love you, Fang. Oscar the Bearcat has a question. Strangle is missing, so shout to Tangle to Masquerade as... Okay. Let me restart that one. Strangle is missing, so Shout gets Tangle to masquerade as her till she and Whisper can find the real one. How well and how long can Tangle pull off pretending to be a despot?
Failed at launch.
I was going to say, about half a second, maybe.
I mean, she could rock the look, I'm sure, but she's going to not nail the characterization. It will be flanderized beyond all get out. And the only reason why she's getting by is because everyone is normally so terrified of Strangle. They just think she's having an especially off day, and they do not want to piss her off.
Mm-hmm. Jedi Pony has a question. Which characters are most likely to chew on a pen out of a nervous habit?
If we had to pick somebody, I could see Tails doing that.
Lanolin.
I'm sure I could see her doing that.
Me. Oh wait, we're talking
I don't
about
know where you fit in the canon.
We're talking about Sonic characters, not real life. Never mind. Where do I fit in the canon? I don't know. That's for you to figure out. You're the guy. I'm just here.
Yeah, sure. I'll get right on
that. Pitch me into Sonic. You can do it. Don't do that, please. This is a joke. This is a joke. Do not put me in Sonic. That sounds dangerous. Sounds like a bad idea. Bunny Bell 3 has a question. Bunny Rabbit finally opens her very own hair salon, and every corner of the Sonic universe knows about it. Every timeline, every character is invited for the opening weekend. Who shows up?
I would imagine everybody that can.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, cross-dimensional travel is a little pricey.
Yeah.
With the gas these days. My goodness. But
Snively's there for some reason.
Well, I mean, he only has 6 of them left. You have to take very good care of them.
Yeah.
You know, then there's the big dramatic moment when Eggman shows up and sits down, and everyone's like, so what are we Sweeney Todding this guy? What's going on? And he just strokes the mustache. Do your best. And so Bunny does, and he walks away looking absolutely magnificent. Yush. And suddenly he doesn't want to take over the world anymore. Thus, Bunny causes world peace.
Thank you. Thank you, Bunny. You've saved us all. Noah W. has a question. Have you ever considered making a Lost Tales for the unused concepts for the Mega Man Archie comics?
I have bounced around ideas of just, writing down how I would tackle certain bits. Also kind of consider the idea of just writing it up fanfic style, but just have not had the time to really look at it.
No, unfortunately. Doomed Gundam has a question. A new Dragon Ball, I'm assuming, was released. Oh, a new Death Battle. Okay, sorry. A new Death Battle was released, and it was Bowser versus Eggman. If you have seen it, what's your opinion on the winner? If not, who do you think would win?
I have not seen it, no. There was one Death Battle I watched, and going off of that, what throws me with their premise is, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way they do it is they try to throw everything that the character has ever had at their disposal at each other.
Yes. And that's still true. Yeah, that's still true.
I'm not a big fan of that because there's so many different versions of these storied characters that you can, by the time you factor in everything, it kind of becomes meaningless because everybody's going to be like a god at that point. I personally, and here I am lecturing these guys who have gone on for how long
and are way more successful than we are.
By leaps and bounds. I personally would be more interested in characters at their base level. What is it that they can achieve on their own without anything else? But if we were talking just Bowser and just Eggman thrown into like a dirt pit and told go,
yeah,
I gotta give it to Bowser. I mean, Eggman's pretty darn strong, but Bowser can flambe him from a distance.
So I have not watched it personally myself, but from my understanding, it ends up being like Bowser's army versus the Eggman Empire.
Well, that's their armies. That's not like them.
Yeah, it's a that's a different. To me, that seems like a different scenario. But
and which armies are we talking? Like just classic badniks? Are we talking about every bit of Arsenal?
It's then as far as I know, it's like everything ever.
Okay, so then does that mean Eggman comes in with the Time Eater? Does that mean Bowser has all the power stars in like Galaxy? And again, at that point, you're just throwing gods against each other, and it's
Yeah. Like I said, we haven't seen it, but yeah, I want to see them like duke it out, like just them. We know Eggman is surprisingly more capable physically than you might expect. So I have to wonder how he would hold up in a one-on-one against Bowser.
Well, I mean, after beating up Colonel Sanders, he's got an itch for it. He needs to get back in the ring.
Oh, okay. I'm also being told that they showed like alternate endings and different scenarios, different ways things might play out for that death battle too. So that's actually kind of interesting. It's like if they didn't, I'm guessing if like they didn't have something at their disposal or whatnot, then how would that change things? Something like that. So that might be a little more interesting then. All right, Starlight Sec has a question. Would Shadow ever like to meet Maria's sister, or would he be more likely to intentionally avoid crossing paths with her?
I don't know, to be perfectly honest, because I could see it going a couple of ways. Like in one scenario, I could see him wanting that kind of connection to his past and her past. And on the other hand, he's also trying to step away from that, be his own person and forge his own path. So why go looking for those past connections? It's an interesting scenario, and it would be neat if it got followed up on at some point.
Mm-hmm. All right, Janiklin has a question. If I were to saw or cut Surge and Kitsunami in half, would they survive? Would each part regrow like Starfish? You can answer this, quote unquote, seriously or for the funnies.
Number one, I do believe you have a restraining order against me, right? You can't come anywhere near me. Good. All right. Number two, good luck getting to stand still long enough for that. Unless you've got like the Resident Evil laser hallway. Ew. Anyway, no. I imagine, serious answer, I imagine if you could bisect them, that'd be it. There's like a threshold to that kind of damage.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, maybe if you put them back together fast enough and use enough super glue, they could bounce back, but I don't think so.
Yes.
I'm blanking on a silly answer, but it would probably be really morbid and dark, so let's not go there. We're a family show, after all.
Yeah. All right, Oz Jam is here with a question. No more Starline Q&As, but nothing says that a glum gold can't be asked questions. What do you say, Ian lad? Promote me instead of that quack. Okay, I can't do it. I wasn't prepared to do a glum gold. So I did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't prepared. But I do like the idea of glum gold asking a question like that.
I like your enterprising ways of finding loopholes. Stick it to the man just to profit yourself. You'll go far in life, me boy.
And a glum gold Q&A would be legendary. If anybody wants to sponsor that, I don't think we'd be against it, right?
I would have to do breathing exercises beforehand because that man demands a lot from the lungs.
We may have to record it like over time. Yeah. Split it over a few days recording time and then edit it all together at the end. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fine. It's a nice investment.
That would be so much fun though. So yeah. Non-Sonic character Q&As. Yeah. I'm sure that would be fine. You don't work on DuckTales or with Disney at all, so, whatever. Yeah. What are they going to do? DMCA us and take us down and... No.
Just try to sue that killed off me. I no money to begin with. Wait.
It's true. Retsupe has a question. How do you balance Omega's comedic lines with his violent, strong persona? He feels more balanced now than the comedy-focused Archie version.
It's all down to the scenario.
Yeah.
The hyperviolence punctuated with the bits of comedy is just funny. And for me, what makes him so endearing is that, again, because of the scenario, you can just flip a switch and he is terrifying. Like the minute you take the funny out of it, he is a monster. And then you just got to throw a one-liner in there and he's hilarious again. I love Omega.
Omega is fantastic. Yeah. Yep. Supersonic fan has a question. If Invader Zim and GIR came to Sonic's world to conquer it, what would happen? And how would the heroes and Eggman get along with them?
I have a mighty need to actually watch Invader Zim at some point.
Yeah. What is GIR? Is that
Gur? His subordinate.
Oh, okay. It's actually referring to the character. Okay. I thought it was something else. I'm sorry. I honestly have never seen like more than one episode of Invader Zim.
And that's fine because we've exhausted my knowledge of the series.
Yes. So many things to get caught up on. So little time.
How old is Invader Zim now?
I don't know. Probably old enough to drink. Anonymon has a question. The fashion world is under attack. The only hope is Honey and Tails to go on a sci-fi fantasy quest to find the right clothes for the perfect drip. How many brain cells will Tails retain by the end?
Yeah, that just sounds like a fun story idea.
Honey and Tails. Honestly, not a team up I would have expected, but you know what? I like it.
And with the scenario, this almost sounds like a perfect opportunity to cross over with like Space Channel 5 or something. But no, I think Tails would be a little out of his element, but in this scenario, he's going to navigate the weird sci-fi realm to get the resources, be it materials or tools that Honey needs, and then Honey's going to work her magic, and they're going to look absolutely fabulous.
That's right. All right, Oz Productions has a questions, or it says OZ Productions. I'm not sure. Hey, Ian and Kyle, it's my birthday. Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yay. So can I ask for a body swap for Sally and Princess Elise? Can Sally lead the Freedom Fighters for a mission? Or can Elise lead the Freedom Fighters for a mission and Sally handle a fiery tapeworm? I don't think Sally would have any problem handling a fiery tapeworm, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Is Elise was not allowed to cry or really show any kind of emotional range to keep it in check. And Sally, for all of her own pent-up emotional issues, has released more than once. And I'm not just talking about the slap. I'm talking about in Sad AM, breaking down never again within the confidence of others. So I don't know if she could keep it together as long as Elise has, to be perfectly honest, given the material that we have. On the other hand, I don't think Soliana has seen anything remotely close to the level of strife that Mobatropolis did.
Yeah.
I would assume she's more of a figurehead than an actual leader. So, no, I don't think Elise could handle the Freedom Fighters in a live fire situation.
Yeah, no. All right, Frozen Apple Juice has a question. Were the Hooligans Speedy and E102 Gamma to get Lantern Corp rings? What colors would they get and why? If that's too much, just Fang and Gamma then. Love you guys. Thanks, Frozen Apple Juice.
Okay, so orange for Fang. Greedy son of a gun. Chaos Gamma, red for Rage, because he's a punchy boy.
Yeah.
Who was else besides the Hooligans?
Speedy.
Speedy. Maybe green for willpower. I mean, there isn't really one for arrogance, but I mean, he is very self-assured from what little we can glean off him. Bark. You know what? We're gonna headcanon this a little bit and give him blue, because he hopes he can keep the other hooligans out of trouble. And everyone's really wondering where Bean got the prismatic one.
Oh boy.
What does that even do?
Oh no.
And he's like, well, it changes color, and it changes color into taupe. Okay. What does taupe do? Get you 50% off at the Costco.
50% off at Costco is a pretty big chunk of change. That's a hell of a superpower right there.
Things like, I want that ring. Why? You just steal from Costco anyway. I still want the ring.
He wants to be able to sell it.
All right, Space Golem, get out of here.
Yeah. All right, next question is from JCR1216. I guess with the new mandates, it's time for the finale of the Iblis Rizzer. How would Whisper, Jewel, and Surge team up to group flirt with Silver? I don't think Silver could handle that. I think he would melt down into like a melty puddle pile.
Assuming that he's picking up on what they're putting down.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I guess it would depend.
Okay, it was Whisper and who else?
Jewel and Surge.
All right, so Jewel's going to coordinate inviting Silver into a space. Whisper will make sure that all the exits are blocked so he can't escape. And Surge is just going to like lightning speed tackle him against the wall and says, "We love you." And Silver's like, that's nice. I love you all too in like the platonic global sort of way. Please let me go.
Please don't hurt me. any more than you already have.
You always hurt the ones you love. Stranger danger. You know who I am. Not anymore. I thought I did.
Poor Silver. Poor Silver. Chaos Sonic 1 has a question. Since I've been mostly paying for minis and advertising my friends' work, can I do the 4 questions per month instead of minis until I reach the allowance for Sonic minis from now on? I still want to help my friends. I mean, yeah, I think that's fine.
I mean, if you're supporting your friends with ads on the show, that's independent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you still get a mini. You still get a mini for doing that as well. That option is there.
I forgot we had that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. It's for the 35 and above. So if they're like, if they also get an ad, then they get a mini too if they want.
Oh, okay. I didn't know we were doing that.
Yeah,
cool.
That's what I've been doing this whole time. I've been doing it this way.
Runs the show.
I guess I've been doing it this way the whole time. I just didn't ask or tell you. So no. So yeah. If you want to just submit questions like normally for 4 questions per month instead, that's okay. Sorry about not doing minis, but we'll still do minis. So don't throw that out yet. We're just, there's a lot of things going on. We'll get back to you, and I'll let you know. Stash Hand has a question. Dr. Eggman is frustrated with years of defeats. He's lost his edge, and he's now suffering inventor's block. He can't come up with any new machines, and he can't overcome this funk on his own. What is he to do?
This sounds like a Boom episode.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like a Boom episode. I'm kind of shocked it wasn't. Or maybe it was.
Robot, Cubot, get in here. Today I present you with... It's a box. It's a very nice box. Nice drawing of one anyway. What does the box do, sir? I don't know.
This is worse than the ballot stuffing robot.
Goes knocking on Tails' door. So, hypothetically speaking, if I were to try to murder you, how would I go about doing it? And Tails is just kind of slow blink and closes the door.
Uh-huh.
He's trudging through the forest, gets his way to Styx's burrow, gets caught in some kind of leg snare, and she comes up ready to fight. And he's like, wait. This is a lovely leg snare you have here, but if I were going to try to trap you, how do you think I'd go about doing it? Comes down to just like a therapy session between him and Amy at Mehburger. It's like, look, you don't have to overthink this. Here we are in Mehburger, slowly poisoning ourselves with this horrible food. It isn't glamorous, but it's still effective. Think lower and then build yourself back up. Oh, thank you, Amy. You're such a good friend. I'll destroy you last. That's the spirit. Now get out there and... Wait, what am I doing?
The things she usually does on Boom. Which is entertain Eggman's nonsense. Anyway, Onyxodot has a question. Starlight is thrown in the world of the Men in Black with disguised aliens running amok and memory wipers about. What would he do, and what would be his fate?
Oh, he'd join. He'd be Agent S. Are you kidding? He'd learn the handbook inside and out only for the sole exclusive purpose of stealing all their tech.
I'm so sad that we won't have a thumbnail of Starline with the Men in Black. Oh, what?
You do understand the difference between me and you, Agent K, is I make this look good.
Oh boy. The suggestion.
And how do the Isekai adventures continue? 2 words. Noisy cricket.
Oh. I'm receiving this suggestion. Instead of Agent S, he's Agent Asterisk.
I love it.
It's very good. Very good.
How do you pronounce that, though?
Agent Asterisk. Mutton Chop has a question. I'm an artist used to working till 6 a.m. with two sorry. We've been at this for a while. I'm an artist used to working till 6 a.m. with two published books. Published, that word gets me. I don't know why. Who do I gotta know to send a portfolio to IDW? I want to work the night away. No sleep.
Check to see what local shows are going on. See if IDW is present and if they have an editor that is showing up. If they are doing portfolio reviews. Even if you don't see that explicitly stated, if you see there is a local show that has IDW present and they list an editor there, go by the table and say, hi, is editor so-and-so present? If so, are they open to looking over portfolios? And in my experience, most editors, if they have the time, will give you a quick look over if they can. If you do this, make sure that your portfolio is ready to go and that you have a business card of some form, whether it is like an actual business card or a leaflet or something to hand off that has your name, your contact information, and where they can find you online and your online portfolio, which you better make sure is easy to navigate and highlights all the cool stuff that you do and shows that, hey, you're in 2 published books. You can do stuff.
That's right.
Beyond that, reach out to artists that you jive with that work with IDW or have worked with IDW in the past. See if you can open up a dialogue with them and see if they can also potentially float your portfolio along. That's the hardest thing about this industry, is that it is very much catch-22. You can't make connections until you're in the industry, but you're not in the industry until you've made connections. So always be open and aware for opportunities and seize upon them when you find them.
Well, there you go. All right, folks. I'm going to announce that we are not going to be accepting. Well, we will be accepting super chats, but they will be pushed to a future episode that we are going to be recording and releasing in December before the Sega vetting process kicks in. So, thank you so much for all of your donations. Like, holy crap, there's so many super chats. We have a lot left. We'll get through as many as we can. Any we don't get to tonight will be moved on into a future regular normal podcast, and you'll be able to hear them probably within a couple of weeks at most. So we still have like 50, 40 something super chats in. Just tonight.
Well,
yes.
Still, we spent like 40 minutes going over the new course of action and stuff. So I say we run till 9.
Yes.
All right.
But I'm closing them down now because we have...
Yeah, because I don't think we can get through
We
all
have
50
so many, and I don't think we will be getting through them all, no. So any we do not get to, we'll be getting through in the future. Any that ended up getting deleted in the sweep at the beginning, I do still actually have those, so I will also add those to the list. Sorry about that, but you guys were asking questions before we started the Q&A segment of the show. We were trying to get some things done then, so but we'll answer your questions because you paid for them, so we will get to them eventually. So, all right, Winder Blitz has a question. I remember you mentioned an anti-Mobius version of the Babylon Rogues, which leads me to this question. What an anti-Mobius version of the Diamond Cutters, both old and new, would look like?
Well, I think that's where we had the idea of Scream, or was it Shout?
Shout
the wolf and strangle the lemur?
Yes.
And what would Auntie Lanolin be like? What's another sheep product? I want to call her Mutton.
I think there's already another character named that.
We'll call her Woolly Bully. Gets her own theme song.
Sure.
And she would be just like still super uptight, but
Sheer.
in a really nasty, bossy sort of way.
How about Sheer?
Sheer? Ah, way better. That's way more threatening. Doesn't have the fun song, but yeah.
Yeah.
And Mimic, who is Duo. We have so many questions. Let's not get hung up on the names. He has infiltrated to ensure that the group doesn't do anything particularly nasty. And Surge and Kit were made as counters to Evil Sonic and Evil Tails, also looking to do good in the world. And their hang up is they're sad that despite all their good intentions, they're based on bad people. Yeah. All right. There we go.
All right. You got it.
The originals? Well, the originals were lovingly inspired by Metal Gear Solid's bosses, so I guess they'll be lovingly inspired by the original Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. All right, Bladed Fox 14 has a question. If Bean were to bring a Rocket Wisp home, how would Fang and Bark cope with it?
Oh God, he brought another pet home.
Oh no.
This one doesn't eat. Oh, well, all right. In that case, you can keep it. But it does explode. No!
And it screams rocket real loud whenever I use it. Question from Andrew B. Eggman discovers a Halo installation as he is a reclaimer. He now controls the weapon, and most importantly, he discovers the flood. How long does he try to take control of the flood, and how does it blow up in his face?
You saw the Metal Virus arc. Although, if he gets to the ring first, all of his forces are robotic, so he's the only thing that they can snack on.
Delicious.
The question is, would he retain his intellect as a flood? I mean, he's pretty darn smart, so maybe he would. In which case, now you have a flood that can actively control a Halo installations. That is terrifying.
Oh boy.
Fun.
That is a little terrifying. Yeah. Although apparently past a certain point, the flood can possess machines.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
it's been a long time since I dabbled in Halo lore.
So yeah, that might even be worse.
I thought they could only infest something with an advanced neural network.
I mean, I don't know.
Why am I questioning it?
Don't ask me. I'm just relaying the information I'm receiving. Don't ask me. We need to move on.
Yep.
CloudSev has a question. Hi, Big Blaze fan here. I never liked her acrophobia since it severely limits her abilities. It would be like the Hulk being afraid of guns. Could this please be removed or replaced with something that makes more sense? Thank you.
Not my decision to make. That's something that you would pose more towards the Sonic team themselves, like through the social channels and whatnot. I personally, as a fan, wouldn't be too hung up on it because it hasn't limited her abilities at all. I mean, she's still flipping and kicking and gliding and stuff in all the games.
And it's flying just, burning blaze.
Yeah, so it's, she's uncomfortable with it to be sure, but it's not like it's limiting her in any significant way.
Yeah. She just doesn't look down. That's all. Vinny L has a question. Just want to say I appreciate you guys and thank you for being patient with us. Shadow and Amy go to a metal rock concert. Who are they seeing?
No, thank you for your appreciation.
Thank you very much.
Who do they see? Can they go see Tarantula? I know they're not a real
Why
band,
not?
but
Why not? They're a real band. Now
have
they go.
Blaine
Okay,
Creed
you know what?
open for
They
them.
go to a baby metal concert.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes. That's absolutely it. Amy's
That is the better answer.
and Amy is absolutely like dressed up as like a cosplay baby metal style dress. Yes. Yes.
Didn't she have some kind of like gothic
I
Lolita
think there
outfit in
is
one of the mobile games?
Yeah, I believe so. Something like that. And also, you know,
All
there's
right.
the recent band music
Yeah.
themed
All right.
music themed ones that are coming out too. So, yes. There you go. Magic Glove has a question. Is Sonic afraid of the moon? With the end being the moon, and a previous BumbleKast question addressing that he'd see the moon with fear gas, what is the significance? Am I thinking too hard on this?
I don't know in the end. I didn't walk right into that. Oh,
You said it. He did it. He said the thing.
I punned myself. Good Lord.
You weren't even expecting it.
I believe, if I remember correctly, the explanation for the end's form was that it took on the shape of what you fear. But I don't know of anything explicitly saying Sonic would be afraid of the moon, so maybe that's more interpretive. I really don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he's afraid of the dark and the moon is representative of the dark or something. I don't know. But we've never had him experience that fear. If anything, he's afraid of water. So why didn't the end present itself as like a big glass of water or something?
I am half full. I am half empty. I am the unknowable enigma.
Yes. Somebody should mod that into Frontiers. Just replace the end with a big glass of water. You thirst for your end. There we go. All right. Johnny Gyro has a question. How do you feel about Echoes of Wisdom? More specifically, its insane additions to the Zelda lore.
I got through it. I don't remember anything really earth-shattering lore-wise, and this is, its own branch or segment of the Zelda timeline, so that makes sense for it. I don't think it really would fit anywhere in particular, and I think it works better as its own self-contained thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was okay. Very easy. My biggest concern going into it was that they said you'd have, dozens upon dozens of echoes to use. And I'm like, okay, but can I stack beds to get through most of it? And the answer is yes.
Oh.
Like I used about the same 10 echoes through the entire game and got through it just fine. And the rest, it wasn't necessarily that any of them were superior to the others, they all did the same thing. It was, and aside from like 2 puzzles, which I felt like I just brute forced my way through because I didn't understand what they wanted me to do, everything else was stack beds or use this one enemy repeatedly because it does what it needs to do.
Well, Ian, at least you didn't have to spend a lot of time building a funky contraption only to just have it not work.
This is true. I will give it credit for that. There's a larger discussion about some of the thematic issues I have with it, but we're live and we have like a bajillion questions to get through. So
yeah,
it's very pretty. It functions just fine. I walked away from it being a little sad. I paid full admission price for it.
I would like to try it. I would like to play it, but I have not yet. I'll get to it eventually. The Normal Person has a question. Who in the Sonic cast would get emotional damage after playing Red Dead Redemption 2's story?
Another game that I haven't played yet.
I haven't
actually had it downloaded.
Played the first one.
Was going to play it. And then had to delete it because it was out of hard drive space. So...
Oof.
I don't know the story to Red Dead Redemption 2. I guess it's a very poignant Western. So we'll say Amy, Knuckles, and Tails. And Knuckles will not admit to it. Based on like absolutely nothing.
Yes. All right, Knuckles Omega has a question. Knuckles, Amy, Tails, Rouge, Big, and Sonic pilot the Ninja Animal Zords from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie and combine them in the Megazord. How's it go?
Who was in the list again?
Knuckles, Amy, Tails, Rouge, Big, and Sonic.
I'm on board just for Big.
This is just because Big is there.
Hopefully he's piloting like the rear seat, because otherwise you're not going to see the rest of the crew in the cockpit. And it goes just fine because they're all good friends and reasonably competent mecha pilots for some reason.
There you go. Magical Fox asks, could Sage and Bell combine? Likely on one condition. What condition? They didn't say.
I don't know if Bell's construction would be a compatible platform for Sage's programming.
Okay.
Or if her system could support two of them at the same time. I don't know the specs of either of them to get down to the nitty-gritty.
And here's one from Jacked Out. How do you feel?
Tired.
Exhausted, even?
Not to overshare, but in addition to all that we've been doing with the BumbleKast, I've been to the vet with one of the cats almost every day, every week this past month, in addition to other stuff. So, as Bilbo once said, I feel like too little butter spread over too much bread.
Intervision.
The cats are fine now.
Oh, good. Oh, good. All right, Intervisional has a question. Silly shipping scenario time. Sonic and Silver decide the best way to get to Shadow is through hug therapy. Every time they go on an adventure, Shadow gets a hug. How fast does Shadow cave and accept it?
Shadow's will is indomitable. He will never surrender.
He will not surrender to your loving embrace. Never. But we know what he secretly feels inside, right? We know. Invader.
We know deep down he's a touchy-feely guy. Cut to the gif of him just spin kicking Silver in the back of the
head. Oh, man. Yeah, it's Roundhouse kicking him Wednesday. Invade Turbo Tunis is here with a question. Judging by the Sonic Movie 3 DLC for Shadow Generations, does this mean that the movie verse exists in the Sonic games canon as another dimension? Or do I need to play the DLC to find out myself when it releases?
I definitely play the DLC.
Please?
Do I want to say anything?
Yeah,
no. Let's be safe. As for how it fits into the greater cosmology, I don't want to weigh into that here. I feel like that is something that needs to be officially stated and mapped out, like we did with classic and modern, or past and present, and Tails Tube.
Mm-hmm. No Originality asks, What was your funniest old man yells at cloud moment?
Oh man, I feel like I'm having more and more of those lately.
A lot of them on this show.
Yeah. Okay, this is also kind of borderline road rage. They're doing construction in front of my building, so I have to go the long way around to get to the vet.
Yeah.
And at this particular turn, the lane is wide enough for buses to stop and cars to generally pass by, but people treat it as like an unofficial turn lane.
Ooh.
But that's still getting perilously close to the other cars in the lane rightfully following traffic. So I'm set up for my right turn as people are getting impatient and weaving around me to turn right on red in a lane that is not a designated turn lane. Get off my road in my city. Stop breathing my air.
Don't breathe my air. Don't consume my, I don't know, anything. Vineglad has a question. Since we're losing the Q&A live stream, can we replace them with watch-alongs and or playthroughs?
Maybe those are more complicated to set up and schedule. But again, this is good feedback. That's
Yes.
an idea that we didn't immediately have. So if that's something you guys would like to see, let us know and we can work around that.
We can try to do like game streams again, come back to doing BumbleKast gaming maybe if we have the time and the
finally play Baldur's Gate 3
and the inclination maybe. I mean, we unfortunately any like donations, Superchats or anything sent in when we do those would, you know, not necessarily mean you get your question answered. We would appreciate them, but you know, it wouldn't be a Q&A session impromptu necessarily. So,
right, but I think he's thinking outside the box. Other ways to engage with us.
Yeah, for sure. Butter Noodles has a question. In the cutscene of Shadow Generations, we see that the text above the zones is in universe. What are the characters' reactions to the names just floating?
There's a division between gameplay and presentation. But you know what? I know exactly what you're talking about. And I saw that scene and I'm like, somebody's going to ask about that.
Yeah.
Give it time. Andy, here we are.
Here it is.
The prophecy has been fulfilled. May the corn harvest be ample this year.
Yes. Well, I mean, to be fair, rings are there, right? Like,
oh, don't even go.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't understand why rings can't be an actual thing in the world and they have to be relegated to a gameplay thing. I don't know. I'm not asking you to expound on that, Ian. I'm just saying this out loud. I don't want to get you in trouble. I'm just like so confused and lost about that. Although I do like the idea of them like being on the other side of the words in the sky and they're backwards and they're like, what the heck is that? So what does that say? Here's a question from Dove. Let's talk magical girl teams. Well, sort of. Amy, Surge, Tangle, Whisper, and oddly Silver get powers and become the magical girl team. What's their dynamic? What's the team name and power sets?
Gosh.
This reminds me of that one piece of fan art that's like all the Sonic girls ever, and then also Silver is there too.
I mean, he's got the magical girl energy to him if you look at a certain sort of way. He does. I mean, in the very, very early stuff, he would slightly transform using his psychic powers. Little Franz going up and his boots and his gloves kind of glowing and separating. So it's, if you squint really hard, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Of course, along that line, in Sailor Moon, did Tuxedo Mask count as a magical girl? I mean, he transforms by the same properties, right? So
he could be a magical girl if he wants to. Don't tell him what he can and can't be.
I'm just trying to imagine Silver wearing the top hat. How would that even fit up there?
You know what? He'd rock it. He'd make it work.
What is the team called?
Amy, Surge, Tangle, Whisper, and Silver. I
can't think of a good acronym with that.
No.
But let their transformation devices be like their signature items. So hammer for Amy and mask for Whisper. I guess one of Tangle's gloves. One of Surge's earrings. You know, she like flicks it and causes a spark, and the electrical power just roils down her body, and then boom, magical girl transformation.
So good.
And I imagine their dynamic would be semi-dysfunctional, but then when stuff gets real, they get focused, and then they solve the problem.
That sounds about right. Moldy Lamprey has a question. If Sonic, Silver, and Shadow were to form an idol group, what would be their group name? What genre of music could you see them play as a group?
It's too bad we can't call them Triple Threat. That's Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. I ain't stealing that from them.
No.
And Hedgehog Havoc is too aggressive a name for a idol band.
Is it though?
I think so.
Okay.
Hedge your bets. There you go.
Hedgehoggers. I think I like yours better, but
and I guess something kind of electronica based.
Maybe. Or they're just a boy band.
I mean, maybe that too, yeah. You know, you've got the flirty one, the dangerous one, and the pretty boy.
There you go.
Why not?
There you go. Damnable's BP has a question. Fang has stolen Wario's gold and Knuckles' Master Emerald. What wacky adventure ensues? Oh boy.
Oh, he better run. He better run real fast.
The idea of Wario and Knuckles teaming up is very funny.
Well, that's the thing. I don't see them teaming up. I see them fighting with each other over who gets to Fang first.
Yeah, that would really be it. Yeah. They might eventually have to like realize like, okay, we need to work together if we want to get our stuff back. But it would take a long time for them to get there, and they would be kicking and screaming the whole way.
I could see Wario conning Knuckles into working together.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be the first time that that's happened in Knuckles.
Huh. An alliance with a fat guy with a bad mustache? Sure, that sounds reasonable to me. How could this possibly ever go wrong?
Poor Knuckles. We Flanderized him so badly.
And the thing is, he's legit for fighting off Wario too, because Wario will take the Master Emerald after he takes his gold back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is a lose-lose situation for Knuckles.
Oh, absolutely.
That being said, a Wario Land styled Knuckles game.
Fantastic idea.
Focused on exploration and bashing enemies. That'd be neat.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the Wario Land games are kind of like Metroidvania-esque games anyway, so
hey,
that would fit kind of in your line of Metroidvania Knuckles idea. I like it. But in the end, Rouge takes everything anyway. That's the sequel setup, you know?
Yeah, all right. Rouge, Captain Syrup, team up. I'm on board.
Yes. Oh. Oh, yes. Rogers S has a question. For context, I have an OC who finds Sonic's classic shoes during Forces. Since I want to be accurate, does he still have them? Where would they be, and would they still be able to fit him?
The deep lore of Sonic's shoes.
How have Sonic's feet changed over time? Do we have to think about this?
I mean, side by side, I think they're longer. I've not compared.
You mean his current shoes are longer, right? Or
well,
the
I would
or
assume
the old
that
ones.
larger shoes mean larger feet.
Maybe.
But since they're like uncooked fish cakes anyway, maybe they just kind of fit into whatever mold you stuff them into.
Maybe they're stretchy shoes.
Just put a couple of Folgers cans and just ting, 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 ting.
Maybe.
So I was like, hey, look, I'm Mephiles. I'm sorry for that mental image. That's horrible.
That's awful.
I'm only partially ashamed.
Please, Ian, let's not talk about feet anymore. Shopo has a question. Does Shadow have a hard time keeping eye contact?
I wouldn't imagine so.
I'd imagine he is the opposite problem of where he like stares at you, like even if he's not like mad, he still kind of has that look, you know, of like a very intimidating look, and he's like, you know, piercing gaze at you, regardless of his actual mood or anything. I would assume it's more like that. I could just say he has resting bitch face. There you go. I don't know. Help me out, Ian. I'm just making stuff up. I'm just here. Nope, he's not saying anything. Well, guess you're hanging me out to dry after all. Anyway, Caden Clock 39 has a question. No power scaling here, not any kind of pitch. But do you think Sonic ending up in Zelda Breath of the Wild era games wouldn't just be awesome? Sonic versus Ganondorf just sounds so freaking cool. Just be a fun nerd for a sec.
Oh yeah, I mean, you would have the Sonic Frontiers open world.
Yep.
Without any of the island restrictions.
Uh-huh.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds amazing.
It's Sonic Frontiers, but more. And I think we all agree that's a good thing.
Yes. And then in the sequel, Sonic gets a weird hand that gives him more powers, and he gets to like build stuff, and everybody loves that.
Give him wisps.
No,
don't give him some weird transplant goat dragon man arm thing. But no, seriously, the Breath of the Wild bosses, but with the Frontiers battle system? Yosh.
Yeah. Very much. That would be very awesome. All right, Coyotix has a question. Pete Capella has an IMDb listing as silver for Sonic Awakening. Since it's currently lost media, any knowledge of what that is?
No idea.
Keep in mind,
also,
IMDb can be edited by anyone, and a lot of times there's just things put on there for nothing. Like nothing, it's not entirely accurate. So take that with a grain of salt. Was there something you wanted to add to that, Ian? Or?
No, you said exactly what I was going to say.
Okay. Didn't mean to cut you off there, but Surge Fanatic has a question. How will the changes affect your source of income? Are you going to be financially in trouble?
I mean, these end of month shows are pretty big for us, especially this month. Thank you guys immensely.
They are. I will come out and just say it. They're about a third of our monthly take.
So that's going to be a hit.
Yeah.
And usually for me, freelancing, the start of the year is pretty slow. It doesn't pick up till late summer, wintertime, and boy, howdy's a bit slammed now.
Yep.
So rolling into 2025 with all of the other considerations, it's a little scary. Not gonna lie. For me, Kyle, this is your job.
Primarily, yes.
Spooky for you.
Yeah.
I think it's too early to panic yet. We'll see how it goes. You never know what the future's going to hold. But it is what it is. You know, Kyle runs Nitro Game Injection. It's a fantastic radio show. You've been doing it for like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to help him out, head over to his Patreon. And I have multiple contracts. I'm not immediately terrified of that side of things. And if you really want to throw extra cash my way, I don't know where you're getting it from, but you know, I have my own personal Patreon, which hasn't been updated in forever. I'm so sorry for you guys over there, or Drogoon. So if you have something to spare and you feel like sending it our way, there are ways, but also do not put yourselves in a risky situation just because you feel bad for us. I mean, I don't want to come at the expense of anyone else. You know, look after you guys first and foremost, please. And beyond that, I don't know. Because again, this is a very new scenario. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and we obviously aren't being paid by Sega, or we're not hired by them. I mean, you work for them, Ian, but we're not being like, they're not making up our compensation, or they're not making up the loss of what we'd be getting from this show through these changes, unfortunately.
And to be clear, I work from them as a freelance contractor.
Yes.
So this is not a regular salaried position. There are no benefits. I do work when there is work to be requested. I am not a staffer or official voice or endorser or anything. We've been through this.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about the freelance life. It's feast or famine. There's a lot of great freedoms that come with it. There's also absolute terror, financially speaking. But it is what it is. This is the life we have chosen. This is the path we walk. And if I get silly and dramatic, we can ignore the pain and terror.
All right, here's one from Turbo K. With the Chaotix 30th anniversary next year, I want to ask both of you what your favorite Team Chaotix moment is.
Ooh.
I mean, Vector going down during the Metal Virus like a boss was pretty cool. I mean, that's not really a team moment, I guess, but you know,
they're all there.
They're all there. I guess they are all there, aren't they? Yeah. They're all technically there, yes.
I am proud of that moment. That one came together really well.
Yeah, that was really good.
Like if we had to animate particular scenes out of IDW, I'd like to see that one with just, you know, Vector in the doorway. SBO, yeah, lead detective now. Clang.
Yeah.
Kind of along that line, at the end of their story in Heroes.
Yeah.
When they come to rescue Eggman, and Vector figured this out long ago.
Uh-huh.
That was just satisfying. It's like, oh wait, he actually is a good detective. They're not just complete goofballs. And then Eggman's like, when I conquer the world, I'll pay you. And they're like, yeah, no. They just beat the crap out of him.
Yep. That's fantastic. Yeah. That's a great way to reintroduce them too, to be honest with you. Because, you know, they've been
nerve promising what she ain't got.
Vector. They'd been out for a while. Like, we hadn't seen them for a long time. We kind of were wondering if they were gone, if we were ever going to see them again officially. And then they came back, and yeah, they had a great moment in Heroes. Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, Lycara H has a question. Battle of the Brains 2, Tails, Starlight, Nicole, Eggman, and now Sage meet up again to battle in Stellaris. Who goes diplomacy? Who becomes the crisis? Who does every war crime? Who wins? And who's the most worried that Nicole is playing rogue servitors?
I'm sure this is hilarious if you know what Stellaris is.
It's a game, I know that, but I'm sorry, I'm not
like a LAN
familiar
party
with
game.
him.
Is it a tabletop?
I think it is. Oh shoot! I think it's like a. Is it a real-time strategy game? Okay, it's a 4X strategy game, like I guess in the same vein of like XCOM and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I think, yeah.
I didn't even guess that. All right.
The genre is 4X grand strategy.
And they're all competing against each other real time?
I'm not sure. I gotta be honest with you. I'm literally just typed in Stellaris into search and looked up what it is. That's all. That's it. I know I'd heard of it before, but
speaking in absolute ignorance, I'm going to give this one to Eggman, just because he's ruthless enough to sacrifice any units he has for personal gain. Sage will throw herself upon the sword to protect Father's interest. Nicole would be too concerned about preserving her unit. She's not cutthroat enough. Starline, we know how this goes. The Isekai adventures continue.
If he dies in the game, he dies for real.
Yeah, and who was the last one?
Oh, shoot. Nicole was the last one, but...
Who's the fifth one that I'm missing?
Tails, Starline, Nicole, Eggman, and now Sage. Tails, yeah. I mean, the big brain guy. Come on, man.
He would endure, but I think he has the same problem Nicole has, and he's not willing to sacrifice others or do any kind of self-sacrificial stuff to get the win. He would fight honorably. Eggman would find all the nasty routes.
I just want to say, Stellaris sounds like a Starline and Solaris ship name. That's weird.
Why, Kyle? Why would you?
Why would I bring that up?
That was
I don't
unbidden.
know. You're welcome. I'm glad I could help. We're 2.5 hours into this, buddy.
Yeah, the delirium is setting in.
Our brains are frying.
We still got 30 minutes, though. We owe it to these people. Let's keep going.
Yes, and we're actually getting through this, but yeah, we still have a huge chunk of questions. Horseweave has one. Just keep on bumbling, BumbleKast. My question regards a glow stick that is Silver the Hedge. Who would be a better mentor for the psychic time walker? Kenshin from MK or Genkai from Yu Yu Hakusho?
I never saw Yu Yu Hakusho.
We're finding out a lot of things we haven't seen on this particular stream.
And which version of Kenshin? Like, are we talking pre-New Era or?
I would assume pre-New Era, because there's probably a lot more stuff for that.
Yeah, and I guess New Era Kenshin is still fairly inexperienced. He's just kind of gotten on this whole crazy wild ride. So, all right, we'll go pre-Liu Kang Godhood Kenshin. Considering how he kind of bungled it with his own son, I don't foresee him being particularly great for Silver. And I don't know anything about Yu Yu Hakusho, so I'm going to settle with Silver. Run.
Run away, Silver. Just run.
I mean, you're a living glow stick. Go hide in a rave somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Sonic Mania 2099 has a question. I know no Sonic questions, but I need this answer for my insanity. How does Sega count that DC event as a crossover? That's a collab. A crossover involves Sonic teaming up with them, not cosplaying.
you'll just have to wait and see how it plays out.
Why not both?
You'll see.
Slashy has a question. What would Super Surge and Super Sticks look like? I feel bad because I almost said Stuper Sticks. I don't mean it, Sticks. I'm sorry.
We've talked about a potential Super Surge in the past.
Yeah, I think she would look freaking awesome, to be honest.
And I think the idea that we both settled on that we think would look cool was like an electrical fire theme where her updo is just like electrical fire.
Yeah, and she's kind of like light blue, the blue flame
glowy
look. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not official. That's not a pitch. That's just, wouldn't that be fun? A Super Sticks? She just turns into Ake from Skies of Arcadia. Her boomerang gets bigger.
There you go. I was really hoping this was going to happen in the second Sonic Mega Man crossover. It almost sounded like it was gonna. And then he got played. Then you played us, Ian Flynn. You played us like a damn fiddle. At least you played me.
I knew that would never fly. I think at most I maybe pitched a joke for her throwing a giant super boomerang.
Yeah.
I am sad that we didn't get Command Mission, whatever the name of that all Armor X gets, where he's basically got the U.S. Enterprise on his back.
Yeah.
The gold version of that. But I forget who it was that was like, nah.
Can't do that.
I can't remember who it was. I think maybe both sides didn't like that for different reasons. Oh, well.
Oh. Missed opportunities, man. So many missed opportunities. Whatever happens, I would love to see a Super Sticks. I don't know what she would look like, but I think she would look pretty freaking sick. Raptor77 asks, how do you think Tikal and Trip would get along? Someone new to the cultural weight they protect, the other who started the one her culture safeguards.
Well, I mean, as far as we have seen, they are both lovely young ladies, so I would imagine they'd get along swimmingly.
I think they would be great friends. That's a very wholesome scenario.
Here's your fan art prompt, kiddos. Tikal trying on the helmet.
All right, here's one from El Señor Raimundo. Considering he kind of returned, if Ubisoft hires you to create a Rayman comic series, what type of story you can do for him? A shonen? Go nuts!
That is a very good question. I'm not super up to date on Rayman's lore. Most I played was Rayman 2, and boy did it kick my butt. And seeing how Rayman has experimented and changed and done stuff over the years, I don't know what his theme is anymore. Like, what is he supposed to be surrealist? Is he action comedy? Is he whimsical? What kind of story is Rayman? And with that in mind, then I could spin out from there. Do we do a kind of epic journey? Do we do something that is more action focused? What kind of hero is Rayman? Is he like your everyman who's just trying to get by in the world? Is he driven for justice? What is his motivation? So lots of questions I would want to ask up front and get direction from Ubisoft and then build from there. It'd be fun. I mean, I'm definitely open to that, but I know too little of where Rayman is at right now to even remotely pitch off the cuff here.
Would you still do it if Rabbids were involved?
Well, I mean, that's an excellent motivation. Just kill them all.
I don't think they'll let you do that.
We'll see how long it takes them to stop me.
MA has a question. With it revealed Maria has a sister, is it safe to assume #knowing smile for future reference? Hats off to Evan's work on Gerald's journal, too.
Yes and no.
Yes.
And no.
And no. Sunny Alternativity has a question. Does Trip the Sungazer have measurements of height and weight? If not, who do you think they're comparable to?
I don't have that off the top of my head, but from what I remember of the models in Sonic Superstars, I think she's comparable to Classic Amy.
I mean, they looked sort of very, very similar.
I'd have to see another side by side. I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right, John L. has a question. Would Shadow rather take an invite to work with Gift from City of Heroes? They help people, but with bureaucracy. Or Captain Mako from City of Villains. Freedom to revel in being the ultimate life form, but he'd be supporting villains. I might be able to help you with this one a bit, Ian, because I'm a big fan of the City of Heroes and have been playing it for a very long time. So.
Yep. Now, they did give very good context. That's a wonderful summation. Thank you for that.
Yes.
And not to steal your thunder, Kyle, but I don't think he would work with either.
No, that's okay. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree, though. Yes.
I cannot see him tolerating any form of bureaucracy, nor do I believe he would tolerate or excuse working with villains to advance their goals, even if it advances his own.
Mm-hmm.
So he would just kind of do his own. He'd be a third party in this whole mess.
Yeah. Gift is they're sort of the main initial track for mutants in the game. So they're the genetic investigation and facilitation team. So I don't think they were like the X-Men. It's more like these are just, bureaucracy sort of things, but
they're just gifted.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of silly things like that in City of Heroes. They have a lot of fun with it.
I like that. That's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, they do a lot of fun with that. Have a lot of fun with it. I could see Shadow more throwing his lot in with the Vanguard, which is basically like the military, like I guess City of Heroes maybe gun equivalent. And they're trying to take down weird, funky aliens who are trying to infiltrate Earth and consume people. Sounds familiar.
There might be a loose parallel there.
Yeah. I could see him more as a Vanguard guy. And also, Vanguard is kind of a gray sort of thing. They work with both heroes and villains openly, so yeah. I could see that. David C. has a question. Mr. Oshima once said that if Sonic got the heart of an adult, he would choose Amy, regardless of the ship. What other differences would you envision?
If Sonic grew up,
I think that's what it means. Yeah, like if Sonic if Sonic became an adult, essentially, and matured.
Okay.
Okay.
Following that mentality, maybe ease up slightly on the adventuring. Maybe have more of a plan rather than I go this way now. But personally speaking, I feel like Sonic's character and what makes him so endearing is that he is so immutable, that he is so self-realized that he wouldn't change that much. But that is open to interpretation.
Sure. Here's one from STHG. What exactly is the cause of the digitized states afflicting Tails, Knuckles, and Amy in Frontiers? What's the process? Especially curious about Nux.
That is a mystery. That is ancient technology doing its thing, and the particulars have been lost to time.
They seem to be held in like a sort of prison.
Yeah, as the game
stuck in that state. So, yeah.
Yeah, as far as the game goes to explain, they were digitized and converted into digital forms trapped within cyberspace.
Right.
But beyond that, the particulars are space magic.
They're in Tupperware with holes in the lid. They say slightly fresher longer. Only slightly, though. Those holes kind of ruin that. Icy Cool Studios has a question. Sonic, Tails, Tingles, Surge, and Kit are thrust into New Orleans, Louisiana. What chaos ensues? P.S. We have a famous abandoned amusement park.
I know where Eggman's setting up.
And I know where they're going to go have fun. Although Eggman's not involved in this scenario, but whatever.
Oh, why else would they go to New Orleans but to stop Eggman from taking over the abandoned amusement park?
Okay, fine. We'll go with that.
If he doesn't get there first, the Scooby-Doo gang is going to have to chase out somebody.
Would Surge and Kid actually care?
Well, I mean, if they play their cards right, maybe Sonic will get trapped under the collapsing roller coaster.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, okay.
Or maybe they arrive too late. Those meddling kids already took care of Eggman for them, so they just kind of enjoy the culture of New Orleans.
Oh, it just happens to be Mardi Gras. As always, every time, anytime New Orleans shows up in yes, anytime New Orleans anything shows up in media, it just happens to be Mardi Gras. Of course. All right. Dos Borguitos has a question. Have you seen Arcane? 9 is literally Jinx.
Yes, I have. How do you like that? I did sit down and watch a
thing.
We
actually have seen a thing. I'm still working my way through it. I'm like halfway. I'm up to episode 5. So I'm halfway. So no spoilers, please. Although I kind of spoiled myself on some stuff or anything. Season 2.
Okay.
I spoiled myself on stuff anyway because I don't actually really care too much about spoilers. So anyway.
It's still fairly new, so we'll avoid spoilers in general. But
yes.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, there are some pacing concerns here and there. I would question a few character motivation turns, but the nuance in the facial expression and acting is sublime. It is a really pretty show. Oh my God.
It is. Yeah, it's fantastic. I love the art style and the animation and that. It looks great.
And for a series that can kind of be summed up as, and then it got worse, to me, it never really felt contrived. Every mistake, every escalation, every horrible turn felt earned or at least set up. And you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Crap. So, and there's a whole, I could talk on forever about this. I enjoyed it a lot. I don't see, I mean, I guess I can see like the base level parallels between Jinx and 9, but I feel like they're very different when you get into the finer details.
Yeah.
But can't really get into that because we're not doing spoilers.
I'm doing spoilers. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Maybe that could be something we do 2025. Do a retrospective on Arcane or something. Something like that.
Maybe get the Bumble commentaries up and running again.
Maybe.
Remember when we were going to go through the Avenger films before the Endgame came out?
To be so young and naive again. Chad Thundercock has a question. I, for one, enjoy the new Bumble co-hosts, the PR team, the Sonic PR team.
Well, thank you for the positive feedback.
Thank you. Not a question, I guess. Fang X Trip asks, who are the best and worst caretakers for Tails when Sonic is not around?
Oh, Tails is a big boy.
I gotta
He
be
look after
honest,
himself.
Tails is self-sufficient at this point. That boy doesn't need any supervision. In fact, he's probably the one who's supervising Sonic more often than anything.
Now,
Jeez.
if he needs a hand, I would imagine he'd call on Amy first and foremost.
Yeah. All right, next one is from Ian Flynn died for your sins, you know. Did
Let's
he?
not spoil the ending now.
I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
I hope so.
Pretty sure it'd be a little awkward. If not,
I mean, we still want to do at least one more live.
Who am I?
Give me till the end of December.
Who am I talking to?
Spoiler alert! The reason live shows are ending is because Ian Flynn died for your sins. The next one.
I
Will be the
really
Ian Flynn dead
don't
show.
like this.
I don't like this at all. And this isn't
This is
even.
bad,
and this
Manson.
isn't even the question. This is just the name of the person who asked it.
We already had one prophecy. The corn harvest will be fine. We don't need any more. Thanks. Okay, sorry. One quick side tangent.
Yeah.
When the new Tron film was coming out, I didn't know anything about this.
Uh-huh.
I was just at a convention and I was really confused by all the people walking around with t-shirts saying Flynn lives. I was unsettled.
Yeah. I can understand why.
I mean, once it all got put together, I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. But no, it's like, what is
What?
is that a fan? Or why is this like a standard t-shirt? I'm here. I'm concerned.
I can imagine you looking it around at a convention and seeing that and going, gee, well, I hope I do.
This also belies the existence of an anti-Flynn, but we're getting way off track. Anyway, what's the question?
What island does Sonic Advance 1, 2, and 3 take place on?
I don't know. Like, what coastlines are those? I don't think there is a map of Sonic Advance 1. I think that just goes zone to zone.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So, in theory, they could be all over the place. That could just be a grand adventure. I think 2 has a coastline, but where that is in the world, who knows? And I think 3, like Chaos Angel, is on Angel Island, which is the only like concrete setting. Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah. Good question. I'd just call them the Advance Islands, but that's pure headcanon. That's nothing official. Don't look at me. I'm just here.
And if the mic starts making noise, that's because Malikata has decided it's time to climb into my lap here in the last 10 minutes. Thank you, baby.
Well, you know, that's fine.
Oh, there she goes. Okay.
Bye. And we got one from Ellie. I know you can't answer timeline questions, but I was wondering, has the lore team at least solidified Team Sonic Racing and the Sonic Channel stories placement?
I can't talk about that kind of stuff, but it is something to be discussed if it has not already been discussed, he said, not nailing anything down.
Yes. Okay, Testing has a question. In Dark Beginnings, Shadow senses the black arms and goes to the Ark to check, but in Generations, Gunn asked him to investigate. Explain this contradiction.
He had been up there for an hour, as he says when he's talking to Rouge. So, Dark Beginnings, he takes the rocket up, and in the meanwhile, Gunn can do a scan and say, yeah, you were right. Also, Shadow, you could have asked. I could have, but I didn't.
Yep, it's true. All right. Well, we are, I guess, not technically at the end of the Super Chats, but I need some time to find them. Some of the ones that were asked very early on when we were still doing things
Baby jail.
to start. I know that they were. We do have them saved down here, so I need to move them up. I'm going to do that, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and do a couple standard questions while I try to do that. Yeah, all right. Edubot has a question. Hypothetically, if you were hired by Sega to write a suitable plot for the Hooligans TV series, what are some ideas you'd have? Give an actual answer and not I wouldn't or something like that.
We did do that one.
Not tonight.
Yeah, we did. I was talking about how you can't have the bad guys succeeding and doing bad things on children's programming.
Did we? I don't remember that at all.
Kyle, we've been doing this for 3 hours. Why don't you remember every single question?
I don't remember a damn thing. It's not list. Are you? Hold on. All right. Well, I guess if we did it, then we did it, but I don't remember doing it at all. And it's like, it didn't shift from a standard question over to priority. Anyway. All right, fine. Switch over. Yes, we got this one from Ego. How would be Sonic and Shadow's relationship if they were best friends and Shadow was able to tolerate Sonic more?
I would think it'd be funnier if the dynamic still remained pretty much the same. Keep the odd couple energy. Shadow is still very standoffish, still very curt with his interactions, and Sonic still being kind of needling and high energy and having fun. It's just there's a friendliness to it. You think that they're bitter rivals, and then one rescues the other from certain death. And you're like, oh, wait, no, they're besties. What in the world? Oh, I think that's a fun dynamic myself.
All right.
Oh, I'm late feeding the kitties. That's why she's crawling on my head.
Okay, that explains it.
We'll be wrapping up soon.
Okay. Got rid of my space. Crazy Glue has a question. Scourge and Sonic are both Sonics that aren't true Sonics, i.e. Scourge is evil and Sonic can't run. Would Sonic have some identity insecurity like Scourge or even empathize slightly with him?
1 second. Molly, get down. Do not do this here at the 11th hour. Please. Thank you. So a Sonic that can't run and Scourge having identity issues, right? That's the thing?
Yeah, Sonic can't run, yeah. Would
Sonic!
Would Sonic have identity issues because he can't run?
No, I wouldn't think so, because what we've been presented with Sonic, he seems very self-assured and very comfortable with who he is. Like, he's a zone cop.
Okay.
Yeah, he seems to be the most on the ball out of any of the Sonics.
Okay. All right, let me scroll back up here to get another one for you, Ian. Mr. Yeet 123 asks, have you ever had an idea you were working on ruined because a fan publicly came to you to do with an idea that was similar to it?
No, because this is why I put that barrier up. If someone happens to come up with a similar idea, and given how prolific and creative the Sonic fandom is, it's going to happen. I have that plausible deniability, and they at the same time are protected because I can't accidentally crib their idea. So I don't know if there's been any kind of overlap because I don't go into the fan creation sphere too much. But if it has happened, great minds think alike. Good for you.
Sure, we'll go with that. Miyu has a question. Were the NPC dialogues in Shadow Generations handled mostly by you or by Sonic Team? Could you tell us any specific lines or characters you contributed to more than Sonic Team and vice versa?
That was mostly me. I'm trying to think of any standout stuff that wasn't, but basically when you talk to Omega and Big, Gerald, Maria, Rouge, as the game progresses, that was largely up to me. The pacing of it, when you get to talk to them and how many dialogue options they have, that was dictated by Sonic Team.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and switch back over to one last Super Chat question. And it's from Deshaney. If super transformations reflect the pure-heartedness of the user, what transformation would happen if they were vengeful or even evil?
I would imagine that'd be your Dark Supersonic scenario.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, I know Dark Supersonic wasn't really a thing. Yes, I'm still going to die on that hill. And apparently for your sins, as it has been prophesized.
Please don't. Not yet.
But wasn't that the whole thing with Dark Supersonic, is that he got so negative in his emotions around the false emeralds that he started to turn? And Eggman was like, knock it off. That's not you. And he didn't. I seem to remember something like that. So with that premise in mind, I would imagine you would get your Dark Sonic, Dark Shadow, Dark Silver, Dark Sticks, Dark Speedy,
Dark Sticks.
Froggy, well, whoever.
Dark Froggy, yes. Dark Froggy. Dark Froggy is canon. Confirmed. Not confirmed. This is a joke. Jeez. Can't believe we have to say that, but here we are, Ian. This is the life we've chosen.
It is. And we've been able to choose it for so long because of all you guys listening at home and all the wonderful supporters, both through the Patreon and Ko-fi and YouTube programs and through our volunteers. Again, you guys are amazing. I don't know why me babbling into a microphone elicits that much generosity and support, but I am very appreciative. We're going to continue to do our best to keep you entertained.
Yes. Thank you all so much for supporting us. For as long as you have, we're not going anywhere. We'll still be here. And we still got one more live Q&A that we're going to do in December. So, yeah, be sure to come back next month with your questions ready. So we'll be here.
But for now, we're wrapping it up?
Yes.
All right. So, thank you, everyone, once again, for joining us, for your patience, your understanding, your support, all that jazz. Surprising how talking for 3 hours kind of leaves you a little drained. Happy holidays, whatever you are celebrating here as we roll into the holiday season. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And we will see you one last time on the live BumbleKast at the end of December.
Yes, indeed. See you guys next month. Everybody. And, next week too, when we have, episodes coming out. We're still doing episodes. This is not like the end of everything. It's not over. It's not over. But, we're moving on into a different era soon. But we'll see you next time.